Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope!
I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, beautiful!
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
With an exclamation. Instead of fly ball to left, it sends Schwarber back onto the track, at the wall. Pena's done it again. He's given the Astros a 2-1 lead in Game 5. The 1-2. Fair ball and picked by Mancini. Off of the bench for Gurriel, and Trey Mancini keeps the Astros in front. Fly ball right center field. McCormick on the move. The track, he's at the wall. Makes the grab. Chaz McCormick. 2 gone in the 9th.
He went the other way. That's the stroke. And this play right there. I mean, the degree of difficulty, and it's a double or triple. But JT stays on the ball, and it looks like for a moment that's going to be trouble. Unbelievable play.
There he goes. Here it comes. A bouncing ball to short. Pena's there. Steps into the throw. Astros take Game 5. In a thriller. 3-2 the final.
How about that? What a way to come back from getting no hit, back-to-back wins. And the Houston Astros, 1 win away from the World Series championship that, quite honestly, I think they probably deserve more than the opponent. And that's where you start halftime on a Friday on a potential, not a potentially, it's going to be a rainy, windy, stormy Friday across our lovely listening area. So be safe out there. Clear for the moment, but give it a few hours, and that's why you had so many football games moved to last night. Phil Elson here. I'm in the studios of our 99.5 ESPN Northwest Arkansas affiliate in Springdale. I'm sitting right across a large wooden table from Matt Jones. Matt Travis holding things down at our ESPN Arkansas headquarters, and Clay Henry joining us in about an hour. Matt, it's good to have you in person, man. I've seen you. It's been a while since we've been inside the same room, but I've seen you on FaceTime these last couple of weeks, and it's good to see that the person that's on FaceTime is exactly the same person who I'm sitting across this table from. Otherwise, I'd have been a little frightened.
I did take a shower. I brushed my teeth today, so I put on deodorant, the 3 things you got to do every morning. But I'm excited, too. Phil, it's good to be in person today.
Very good. And he brought various kinds of snacks and drinks today.
Yeah.
You could call them gifts because I'm allowed to share the jalapeno potato chips.
And one of those, too, man. I've never had one of those. Hey, Matty T, have you heard of sparkling unsweet tea?
No, I didn't know that was even a thing.
I just got one today, but I got a acai, I got a bubbly,
4,
I got one in the freezer.
Phil, you're getting to experience in person his daily routines with his various beverages and snacks.
Well, I can see every beverage that he cracks.
When he holds it up
when he's in Barling, but I can't see the. You need your own locker for your.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need to travel with a mini fridge. Heck, you need to travel with a regular size fridge.
Did he pop open the Liquid Death yet?
No, there's no Liquid Death. I guess it wasn't available in the store that he traveled to. 6 different beverages are right here in front of me, all of the sparkling, non-alcoholic variety.
I stopped, Matty T, at the Whole Foods. There's not one in Fort, and so I got a 365 black cherry sparkling water I've never had. I saw some Liquid Death, like they had a berry one and a lime one that I've never seen before, and I know I'm getting old. Because the first thing I did was text my buddy, and I said, "You got to check out this sparkling water." That's what I talk about. It's like
I really feel like if there's going to be a beverage that's called Death, it's got to have the Vicks green flavor attached to it. People go in that direction. You've seen some of these candies. I mean, we did the candy conversation last week. You know the Jelly Belly jelly beans.
Oh,
you ever seen these? The Bean Boozled?
Yeah, and they got like vomit and booger flavors.
Yeah, like rotten fish flavor. I don't know how they actually figured out what those things taste like, but what I pictured rotten fish tasting like is what that tasted like. Anyway, if you're going to have Liquid Death, have the Vicks Green Death flavor because that's
it shouldn't be
what
so
I kind
refreshing.
of associate with that. Well, maybe that's what the seaweed here tastes like. And that's Green Death right there.
I got a organic caffeine. It's an acai sambazen, and it's got vitamin C. It's got 275 milligrams of vitamin C. With this storm coming in, the weather changing, the weather's about to drop off. Make sure you get some extra vitamin C in your life today.
That's good. Connecting the storm with the vitamin C. Maybe it staves off lightning strikes around us. Hopefully that'll be the case.
Also, if you're going out to sea, you don't want to get scurvy, so get your vitamin C.
That's a very good point. Scurvy's been a problem for a long, long time, back in the 1700s and 1800s. All right, football tonight, not in the SEC, of course. 2 huge games coming up tomorrow, and this is one of these things. It's like I hate when you're a fan, or before I started, getting on the radio broadcast for the Hogs football games, I'd be able to sit there like everybody else and have the Razorback game on one television, and then have Georgia Tennessee on the other. You get a 30-minute difference between these two games, right. and I mean we'll have we can't even put the Georgia Tennessee game on in the radio booth because that's what we got to use to watch replays.
Yeah.
The only way, and it's not like I can act like I'm going to not record the game, but also not know what's going on. I mean, this is going to be the major conversation outside of, hey, Arkansas Liberty right here in front of us. The other point that we all want to talk about and watch is Georgia and Tennessee. And there's no way that I'll be able to not know the score. So it's one of those Saturdays that I don't wish that I was doing something different. I just wish the Georgia-Tennessee game was at a different time, or that this would be the 11 o'clock morning game. But you're not going to do that on homecoming when you got a non-conference opponent.
And then you get that LSU-Alabama. It kind of rolls in there, if you don't have 2 TVs. I'm excited about that LSU-Alabama game, and then obviously you're right, that Georgia-Tennessee game is what everybody's going to talk about. I like the home team.
You like the home team because they're home?
That's it. If they were playing in Knoxville, I'd like Tennessee. If Alabama was playing Tennessee, those 3 teams right there, that if Alabama, I think they're kind of a step above everybody is Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia. Then you have LSU and Ole Miss, which LSU is going to get a chance. They get them at home. But Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, whatever one was playing one of those at home, that's who I would take.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I usually would lean towards the home teams too, but I guess if I'm looking at the spread, what is Tennessee 7.5-point underdog? Man, I mean, I'd take that. I'd take that right now. And I understand that game was at home, but I was so impressed with the way that they moved the ball against Alabama. I think they'll be able to move the ball against Georgia. And the Georgia offense, I know they got these great tight ends, and Stetson Bennett is better than I think, he's better than a walk-on and all that kind of stuff. He's a great quarterback, actually. I mean, he won a national championship for crying out loud. I'm looking at Tennessee being able to cover it, but I don't know if I'm looking at them being able to win it necessarily. Wonder what everybody else's thoughts are on this. And Arkansas and Liberty, 877-377-6963 on your thoughts about this. And, this is the game. You want things to get out of hand for Arkansas against Liberty. I mean, you wanted to get out of hand for a number of reasons. One, the last time Arkansas played a team that you felt like they weren't quite on the same level as, and I think going to BYU is a little different. It's when you played Missouri State, FCS. And, man, Missouri State controlled the game for much of that first half. You couldn't move on to something else. For numerous reasons, you would just like to just kind of get the lead against Liberty, grow it, rub their face into the dirt, and then let the rest. And then in the second half, let everybody go focus on Georgia, Tennessee, which should be a closer ball game than Arkansas and Liberty.
Yeah, they remember in November. That's for sure. I'd like to see us get out there and play well, play a clean game. Let's clean up the penalties. We had 10 penalties the last game. Let's don't do that. Let's try to have a turnover-free game. Defense fly around and get some turnovers. And I still think we're going to have to score 30, 40 points. I'm going to say 40. I see them scoring 3 or 4 touchdowns on us, and then kind of, maybe they score 17 in the first half or whatever. We've been having slow starts.
That's the thing I'm worried about with it, and it's been a string of these now.
Stay in the game and get confidence.
Yes, going back to Alabama, it's been 4 games in a row with a really slow start. And, I mean, if you go before the Alabama game, good start against Texas A&M, crappy 3 quarters after that. Before that, bad start against Missouri State. So, I mean, you've got a string here of poor starts. And look, it was sloppy to start the game last week at Auburn. First play offensively, KJ gets sacked. 3 and out, bad punt.
Hazelwood trying to make a play, right? That's right. That was the second drive.
Auburn, not the team that was able to take advantage of those, and I'm not going to call them mistakes necessarily, but it's just the slow start. You end up, and then partially that's because the Arkansas defense, like if the offense doesn't start well, your defense better start well, and they did. They did. They forced a longer field goal with a sack by Chris Paul, and then did allow a field goal when Auburn's drive started near the 30-yard line. So the defense had a fast start. It's just, I think when we think of starting the game in a fast way, Matt, we're thinking of offensively getting out 7-0, getting out 14-0, and boy, it's. I mean, you want to see it it's such a cliche. You want a fast start. What do you think that would help? Now you've got this body of work for these last 6-7 games mostly where there hasn't been a fast offensive start. And against Liberty, look, I know Liberty's got these good numbers defensively, but I'm not ready to trust them at all. I'm really not ready to trust those numbers at all because I don't trust the teams that they've played as far as their talent level on offense outside of maybe Wake Forest, who scored 37 against them.
The thing I was doing is I tried to go back. I didn't get to watch the BYU game, but you see that they were able to play with them. Hugh Freeze, he's going to have them coached up. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to do the right thing. I think it could be a lot similar to that Southwest Missouri State game where they might play good early, but we'll wear them down. We have the bigger players. We have the better offensive line. We have more talent, more speed, and that's what happened again. I mean, if Bobby Petrino had better players, we would have been in trouble that game. I mean, they were up 14 late in that game, and then we kind of KJ kind of put the team on his back in that last third and fourth quarter and took over. You don't want to see something like that this week. We got to play LSU next week, Ole Miss next week. We can't have slow starts against those teams. They're going to be licking their chops if we're doing that, and they'll run away and hide from us.
So that's where we'll start today. It's a really important Friday because, it's a Friday and everybody gets fired up about that. But this is a day we've been talking about for months. The Weird Al Yankovic biopic movie, where 100% of this movie is absolutely true, has come out on Roku. I did not watch it. I know it actually was watchable starting at midnight, but I had to get up early, so I wasn't going to do that. I'll see if I can drag Matt later on to watch Weird. And, Matty, you might have that movie on in the studio for all I know. Man, this is like the most important thing all year, right, for us.
It is. And, Phil, I started, Roku already made available these behind-the-scenes videos and interviews, and I started to watch one last night, but it was giving away too much information, so I stopped myself. Now, I have been listening today to the new soundtrack, which has some re-recorded versions of old songs, and then also the credit music, which I wish I wouldn't have listened to because, of course, the end-credit music gives away spoilers from the movie.
But I just want to say, I don't feel like I'm the kid before, the day before Hanukkah or the day before Christmas where it's all this anticipation. Like, right now, this is Christmas Day. I'm not even allowed to open the presents. Mm-hmm.
And you're going to know that the other kids are opening their presents because I'm going to open mine tonight.
Yeah. There's a lot of pressure in my brain right now, and I might explode at some point. So I'm going to need you to help me through this.
I mean, I got that way with the Quentin Tarantino movie I know, all joking aside, but Guy Ritchie, when he came out with The Gentleman, Matthew McConaughey movie, that was one of those, I went twice to the movie theaters to see it. There's movies that come along, and you just can't wait to go do it, and you don't want any spoilers at all. What
was the movie that you could not wait to premiere, and then when it did premiere, it was everything you thought it would be and more? 877-377-6963. Just throw that topic out there because there's no way that the Weird movie doesn't win every Oscar that is available this year. And Matt mentioned Matthew McConaughey, who celebrates a birthday today. We've got some reasons why I think Matthew McConaughey would be a perfect person to play Matt Jones in whatever movie you need a Matt Jones character for. So we'll get into that as well. Plus, World Series, college football weekend, and, hey, we got the golden hour approaching as well. Aaron Torres joining halftime after the break, so stay with us.
It's finally time. Game day on the hill. It's time to write our chapter in the history books. It's time for the hog walk. It's time for the hog calls. It's time for the roar of Razorback City.
Pass deflected, picked off, intercepted by Catalan. Touchdown, Arkansas!
It's time to show out for this proud damn state.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Hell is a big enough problem on its own. Good Thing Dent Source, LLC is on the job, specializing in auto hail repair from personal vehicles to large fleet. Dent Source, LLC makes customers smile, one vehicle at a time. High insurance deductible? No problem. Dent Source, LLC will pay your deductible. Need a loaner vehicle during repair? No problem. Dent Source, LLC has free loaner vehicles. Stop by 2820 South Zero Street, across from Play It Again Sports, or call 479-337-4443. That's 479-337-4443. Dent Source LLC, no problem.
Deer hunters, rifle season is almost here, and Jelco Outdoors just received another large shipment of box blinds by Lazy Man, Hawk, and Earth Blind. All blinds are assembled with 6 and 10-foot tower option. Hunt in comfort this year. Check out the large selection of box blinds at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. Ad paid for by Christina Katsavis campaign.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Aaron Torres is with us from the Aaron Torres Media and the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, which we learned last week on our usual hit with AT. It's not the first time he's done this before. He's so well-tuned with everything going on in Razorback athletics, and it doesn't even have anything to do with having somebody from Arkansas on the show. He had Hugh Freeze as a guest this week on the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. I mean, you obviously, Aaron, looked ahead on the Arkansas football schedule, saw Liberty this Saturday, know you come on our show Friday. You are so good at getting everything scheduled this way. The check's in the mail.
You know, I will say, Phil, it had absolutely nothing to do with Liberty being on a bye in 7-1. It had everything to do with, I said, Coach Freeze, rearrange your schedule. Hogs are on the schedule. By the way, you know who Liberty plays next week after they travel to Fayetteville? A little place called Rentschler Field, East Hartford, Connecticut, UConn Huskies, baby. So
well, that's the real reason then. Yeah.
I got the double dip. I said, Coach, you know, tell me about Sam Pittman. Then I said, tell me about Jim Mora. He's got the Huskies at 4-5. They may be fighting for a bowl game against you guys if they went 4-32 combined from 2018 to 2021. So yeah, listen, I know we're tongue in cheek here. I'd love to sit here and say that because Razorback Nation loves me, I twisted Coach Freeze's arm to come on to talk Razorbacks the week before the game. Realistically, they just had a bye and they're really good, and he's a fun guy to talk to, and I enjoy talking to him. So the fact that the Razorbacks happen to be next on the schedule, it was good because, listen, you know, I'll say this is obviously it's a game Arkansas fans want to win, but as that program continues to ascend, it's obviously a really big game for them. So I think their fans enjoyed getting to hear him break down what's the biggest game on their schedule as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, they treated the BYU game as like a bowl game. They rushed the field after that because BYU's got the national cachet as an independent that Liberty is looking for. There's no way. There's no better way, and BYU's had that cachet for a long time.
Yep.
There's no better way to get that cachet than beating an SEC team. And I know they feel like this is the year that they've got that chance, and they've got the schedule and the opportunity now.
Well, you know, I'll be honest, you know, one thing I've learned about talking with Coach Freeze through the years, you know, listen, he's made a lot of mistakes, many of them very publicly. And one thing we talked about during that interview was he tries to be 100% honest with his guys. And he told them point blank, you know, listen, this Arkansas team's the best team we've played. We're probably not going to win. But that doesn't mean that we can't go out there and give it our all. But you know, he'll tell them at the beginning of the week, hey, our back's really up against the wall, and it's not from what I understand, it's not the normal coach speak. And so, you know, that was really kind of interesting to me in the lead up to the BYU game. I was watching some of his pregame speeches, and he basically said, I could sit here and lie to you and tell you it's just another game. No, this is the biggest home game in school history. Obviously, this was being 3 weeks ago now. And I think he probably told his guys this week, hey, we know who Arkansas is. They're a really good team. Nobody expects us to win. Let's go out there and do our best. But you know, I think that's the one thing about him is he is very transparent. And I would say, you know, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for them. They've been, you know, what they've done is really incredible, Phil. I mean, I think they played 4 different quarterbacks because of injuries. You know, Charlie Brewer, the former Baylor and Utah quarterback, was their starter, got hurt. You know, made a little bit of a return against BYU in that game. But they really are, you know, I know everybody's dealing with injuries at this time of year, but they're really dealing with their 3rd, 4th string quarterback. Brewer maybe will be back tomorrow. But I think that's part of what makes this story so special for them. Yes, they have a prominent head coach, but for them to be doing it with the injuries they've overcome, specifically at the quarterback position, is pretty impressive.
Aaron, they don't just have a prominent head coach. They have a prominent head coach who's had success in the SEC before, has 2 wins over Nick Saban. There is, you know where I'm going with this. You asked the question, and it didn't sound like he gave like the normal, you know, oh, I'm just worried about Liberty right now kind of an answer. I was, it was interesting.
Well, and you know, again, I can only go with what he tells me, on the record. But I think the mistakes that were made at Ole Miss, I think one of the big things he's learned is he Liberty gave him a chance, and he said, I'm just going to be transparent and I'm going to be honest. And so I did ask him, and ironically, and I know you guys know this because I told you last week I had already spoken with him. Obviously, I asked the question before Brian Harsin was fired. And so, what he said, for people who have not listened, I do encourage people to go back and listen to it because he does talk a little bit about the Hogs. He said, listen, we're very happy here. That extension kicked in late last week, and obviously financially he's going to be paid almost like a Power 5 head coach. But what he said, Phil, essentially, and I know you saw it, but for people who haven't, is listen, I've been honest with my administration. I've been honest with my players. There are a select few places that I would be interested in leaving. The quote almost verbatim that he said, I'm not a big city guy. I'm a college town guy. So I would think that would eliminate a place like Georgia Tech. Financially, I don't think Arizona State or Colorado would interest him, or maybe could even afford him at this point. But obviously, to your point, Phil, Auburn's open. We didn't ask specifically about Auburn because, frankly, at the time the job wasn't open when I interviewed him. But that sounded like a place that he would be interested in. Now, obviously, the interesting perspective would be is two things. One, he asked me last week about the Greg Sankey situation. My understanding is the league will not get in the way. But now, Phil, and you guys know how the SEC works. You got an AD in from Mississippi State who, I don't know what their personal relationship is, but that would be an interesting twist is, now the Mississippi State coach comes in. Does he have interest in the former Ole Miss coach? That part I don't know, but still a lot of moving parts. And then again, yes, to answer your question, he didn't really duck it, and he didn't say, I plan on retiring at Liberty. He said there's a select few that would pique my interest, and if they were interested in me, I would have to listen.
Aaron, this Liberty defense, do they have anybody that can stop this Arkansas offense? Should we be worried? And then their offensive guys, for people that haven't seen Liberty play, who are their studs? Who should we be worried about?
Well, I think more than anything, listen, again, this goes back to just being totally transparent. Is that I think not only athletically, but just physically with the way Arkansas plays. I mean, they don't have the guys up front that should be able to compete with Arkansas. And so that just comes down to, can they make the kind of plays that you need in the backfield, maybe force a few turnovers here and there. And is that can you do that defensively? Because I think if Arkansas just lines up and runs the ball at them, I don't really know how much they can do. From the offensive perspective, Matt, I'll just go back to what I said a minute ago is it's tough to really gauge just because I don't, maybe he's spoken in the last day or two about the quarterback situation, but, they have a Power 5 quarterback who's won games and put up big stats against good teams in Charlie Brewer. Ironically, the backup is a former Tennessee commit. So, he's a talented player in his own right, but he's banged up as well. And I just don't know who you should expect to see. Now, again, Charlie Brewer, played a couple snaps against BYU 3 weeks ago. That leads me to believe that maybe he's good to go for tomorrow. Again, I haven't seen Coach Freeze address that element of it, but obviously, it's going to be a different team depending on which quarterback you get. If you get that 5th, 6th-year high major guy, that's when maybe you start to think that he's a guy that can make some plays against the Razorbacks.
Aaron, I know we got, the other two big SEC games that are coming up, but I got to ask you some basketball stuff here, especially with the IARP coming
Love
in
it.
with, Louisville, basically, it's barely even a slap on the wrist and nothing for Pitino and one of the assistants there, previous assistants. Kansas is sanctioning their own coaching staff for 4 games. So I forget some of the details. To be quite honest, I forget some of the details as to what happened and which coaching staff got involved with what. But it's because this thing took so freaking long. It took so long to get to this point. What did you think of these two separate situations, Kansas and Louisville?
Well, I think both of them, there was kind of a precursor to what the news that we've gotten over the last couple of days. From the Louisville perspective, your former co-host, Phil, would remember this, but about 4 weeks ago, the Memphis IARP case came down, and that was the first one. And Memphis, the thing with Louisville, you can criticize, and they've had all sorts of problems over the last decade with Pitino and Bobby Petrino and whatever. But they fired Rick Pitino. They fired the AD, Tom Jurich. The recruit that they signed, Brian Bowen, never played a game for them. So why I bring all that up is because Memphis did none of that. Memphis played James Wiseman, didn't suspend Penny Hardaway, didn't fire Penny Hardaway, didn't have an NCAA tournament ban, and they got the same punishment as Louisville yesterday. So once I saw the way the IARP was operating, really going out of their way to make sure to not punish current student athletes, I wasn't surprised by the Louisville thing. And I think we're probably going to see the same. Arizona, I think, is still under investigation, or their results should come soon. The fact that Sean Miller has since gotten another job is probably a good sign that Arizona will be okay. LSU is the wild card. I have no idea what's going to happen with that one just because of some of the stuff that Will Wade was accused of. And then finally to the Kansas thing, all I would say with that is it is funny, right? I mean, it does feel like, hey, we won our national championship. Let's retroactively go back and punish ourselves while we hang this banner. We don't mind suspending our coach now that we won that second natty under Bill Self. But the precursor there was over the summer, there was actually a report from CBS, Matt Norlander, that they pulled him off the road in recruiting, and anybody who follows basketball knows how important summer recruiting is. And so when I saw that, I saw that as a sign that Kansas was, if you want to call it proactive, I mean, it was like you said, Phil, 5 years after the fact, but Kansas, being pseudo-proactive, pulling him off the road, that's kind of sort of an admission of guilt, right? And so I think the 4-game suspension, I would guess that Kansas probably feels pretty comfortable that a 4-game suspension, pulling him off the road in recruiting and whatever else they've done probably will lead to something very similar to what Louisville got the other day.
Interesting. Okay. What do you think about Gonzaga and the Big 12? Bob Huggins says that they would it's like he was treating it like it'd be a come-to-Jesus moment or anything. I don't know. I put Gonzaga ahead of West Virginia anyway. But, what do you think about this? Because they've dominated the West Coast Conference for so long. They're already a national program. What do they need the move for?
Well, one, I mean, there is dollars and cents to it. And then two, obviously, I think, the level of competition, obviously would help them. I mean, listen, it would help them or maybe it would hurt them, right? Because they do, to your point, Phil, have a path to a number 1 seed pretty much every single year because they just have better players than everybody else. I'm torn. I think on the one hand, so let me even backtrack. So on the reason why I don't know if they would do this, Mark Few, I'm just going to be blunt, he basically runs that conference. About 4 or 5 years ago, the Mountain West made a run at Gonzaga, and Mark Few basically asked for 3-4 concessions from the league and how they schedule and how they run their conference tournament, and he basically got all of them. And so I think what this comes down to is, does Mark Few feel like it's time to move on? Does it feel like Mark Few feel like it's time to go in another direction? And then obviously if they do, they're going to have some good options. I think there's no doubt now that we know that they spoke with the Big 12 that the Pac-12 not only would be interested, but I think they need to start getting a little aggressive in terms of their pursuit. But in terms of why you would want to, I mean, listen, it is more exposure. Like you said, Phil, they don't really need exposure, but certainly bigger games, certainly better competition. It will get them better prepared for the postseason, although I would still argue, again, I think 7-8 straight Sweet 16s, 2 Final Fours, 2 national championship games. I think they're more prepared than people give them credit for. I think it's just a matter if they feel like they've outgrown that conference or not. But I think it'll be interesting to watch. I think the way I read that article and just stuff that I've heard in the last 2 or 3 days, I do think it's something they're very seriously considering, if not the Big 12, then just in general a move to another conference.
And I think most people will be watching this Tennessee-Georgia game. And I got Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, whichever one of those home teams. I think those three have kind of separated themselves in the SEC. I'd take the home team. What are your thoughts on that Tennessee-Georgia game?
Well, I don't think anybody has shown the ability to slow down Tennessee. And a few things with Tennessee is I do think, one, and Kirby Smart talked about this, the run game is really good. And two, the defense – statistically, and this time of year, I think you got to kind of look just beyond the stat sheet because statistically, I don't think the defense from Tennessee is great on paper. But if you watch that Kentucky game, Three forced turnovers, maybe even 4. They looked awesome. They were really good against LSU, and their defensive stats, I think, are a little skewed because Bryce Young basically had a superhuman effort against them. And then on the flip side, on not only that, but Anthony Richardson really had a career game against them. So I think the defense is much better. And I think that, I don't really see any scenario where anyone slows down this offense, right? I remember having these conversations during that Joe Burrow year, is that at a certain point, you just have to concede that you can't stop them. It just becomes, can you hold them to enough where your offense does enough to get the win? So I think it's going to be a great game. Obviously Georgia playing at home, that's a huge advantage. But I don't know, man. This Tennessee team is awesome. They've risen to every occasion. So I don't know if you want me to give my pick. I actually do like Tennessee to win the game. I just think they're one of those teams. They've matched every challenge. I don't think they're afraid at this point. They're clicking. I do like Tennessee in that game.
We'll leave it there, Aaron. Always appreciate you, man. I know you'll probably have Brian Kelly on your podcast next week, and then Lane Kiffin after that. We'll just keep the theme going, whoever Arkansas is playing. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I wish me luck on that one. I'm going to need it, so thank you, guys.
Plus, with basketball season starting up, I'm sure AT's got plenty of basketball guests going as well. Hey, if you haven't tried Lark anytime recently, well, you got to try that. The Full Spectrum Seltzer brought to you by Washita Farms. No booze in Lark, but you can catch a buzz because Lark is infused with a perfect balance of hemp-derived THC and CBD. And without any sugar, they still make it taste great. Strawberry, guava, mango, grapefruit, and berry are the flavors. No carbs, no calories, no alcohol. You can buy Lark at your local adult beverage store, have it shipped to your house. LarkHemp.com. That's LarkHemp.com. Got to be 21 years of age or older. Back with more halftime.
The world is always changing, and our lives change right along with it. So when you need a bigger space for that gym or remote office, a larger kitchen, or a yard to run around in, your local Weichert agent can help. And when your life changes again, and you're looking for that cozy place for just the two of you, your Weichert agent can help then too. Because at Weichert Realtors, we know that no matter how the world changes around you, we'll take you home. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics. Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until you get something done. Yeah, I know the game is on, but the faucet is still dripping, the toilet keeps running, and the drains won't drain, and on and on. You need to call West Ark Plumbing and let them do the dirty work while you enjoy the game. Call them at 646-5151 and watch the ball game without the West Ark Plumbing, 646-5151.
Flu season is here, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue, behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? Oh, no way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Ask Blake Gilkey in Fort Smith about Shelter's home insurance.
Frank Rowe Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Marlin, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! 1, 2, 1.
Fly so swift, rain won't lift. Won't close, the railing froze. Get your mind off winter time. You ain't going nowhere.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Get in your questions for Ask the Guys. It used to be Ask Phil. It can't be now. Ask the Guys. Ask Halftime. Brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback next to Baum. And you can't find any other place in the world that is more Razorback than the Stadium Shop on Razorback next to Baum. Tailgating, game day, man cave decorations. And with basketball season coming up, you can't have the same stuff you've used during football season. You got to switch it season to season. So get on over and visit with Robert and Matt and the folks at the alumni at the Stadium Shop on Razorback next to Baum. They are local, family, alumni-owned and operated. 479 Stadium, the phone number, or better yet, stop by the Stadium Shop on Razorback and tell them that we sent you. Online, there, shop with an E on Razorback.com. 877-377-6963 for your Ask the Guys questions, and we'll answer the best ones on the air. Let's see. You got a question for me, Matt? I got a question for you. Where do you watch Arkansas football if you're not in the stadium? Where are you going to be tomorrow at 3 o'clock?
Well,
so we can get a crowd around you.
I've been to 2 games this year, and both, just tailgate, so it's not like it's about a great song, by the way, Matty T. I usually just go to a buddy's house. Like, I hang out with the same 3 people all the time, but it's like everybody wants to watch the game. Everybody I hang with, so we'll go watch the game, and we've been golfing afterwards and just kind of hanging out. But I'll be in Fayetteville this week. Yeah, I'll be at a buddy's house, and I think we're going to do what you were talking about. We're going to have the Arkansas game on, and then the Georgia-Tennessee game on, and then roll right into the Roll Tide Alabama-LSU game, and just make it a day.
That's the thing is I'll get a chance to watch LSU Ole Miss without knowing the outcome. Like maybe Sunday morning I'll put on the Georgia-Tennessee game, knowing the outcome, knowing full well the outcome. And I hate doing that. I don't enjoy watching games where I know the outcome, but sometimes you got to watch it because the Hogs are playing them at some point. They're not playing Georgia or Tennessee this year. They're just not. So it's like there's no real reason to watch it. Otherwise, it's 1 versus 2, which doesn't happen in the regular season very often.
At least check the highlights, or at least kind of. So in soccer, they do a 90 and 30, and it's the cool. I mean, so like I love watching soccer games, but if I miss it, I'm like that. I don't want to sit there and watch a 1-0 soccer game, So as far as a replay, and then they do the 90 into 30, so it takes 30 minutes for the 90-minute game, and they just show you the stuff.
Here's an Ask Matt for you. Did you watch other games when you played for the Razorbacks? Were you like, hey, we can't watch the game when we're playing, but I can't wait to watch, Georgia LSU at 6:30 or something like that?
It wasn't a can't wait to watch. It was more scouting. It was like, all right, we're playing LSU later in the year. If they're on TV, that's who we're watching. There wasn't that, but you definitely, and I don't think it was as easy to watch the games 20 years ago as it is now. You can watch every single game that's out there, and so you have.
Hey, man, you know what it's like to play on Jefferson Pilot, right?
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And so, but that 22 tape is definitely the best, the coach's tape that you get to watch. But it's really cool and really neat to see the game, CBS, ABC, ESPN, and then you go back and watch the coach's tape because you don't see a lot of that things. And I guess you get to see it when you're there. You'd be like, so and so was wide open if he would have went there, and they don't see it as much on the TV.
It's just not on. Still call it tape. They still call it tape. Nobody calls it a file. I got to go watch this file tomorrow. What do you do on Sundays, Coach Pittman? Well, we watch a lot of files. They still call it tape. It hasn't been tape in decades.
The tape don't lie. You hear it, right? The tape don't lie.
The digital file don't lie, Matt. Let's be honest with what these things are. That's right. The JPEG don't lie. The GIF don't lie. We got an Ask Matt from Lane and Leslie. With the recent success of the soccer team, how does Arkansas soccer rank nationally amongst powerhouses?
We had was it Alyssa Orange that was talking about the soccer team and just how much success they've had going back to Mia Hamm was a North Carolina girl. When you think soccer, I'm trying to think through the last 20 years where they played, and she was saying how North Carolina and Duke, they were kind of been the powerhouses. But with that coach there and the way that he's recruiting and you have that big academy down there in Florida and his connections, man, that what she's saying is they're able – because where's the soccer player tree? We talk about the DNs and the cornerbacks, but being able to go all across the country and get these girls to buy in is pretty cool. And I think that they'll be able to make a run. They've struggled scoring, and you got to have that center forward.
Well, they recruit nationally, and I think they have to. There's one player – on the Razorback soccer team who is from the state of Arkansas. That's it. So, I mean, in this case, they kind of are already, that's what Alyssa said, they already are a national program, and look, they're recruiting literally from coast to coast and internationally.
Yeah, nobody wants to play them. They're a tough out. I mean, they're a defensive team this year, and a lot of draws, a lot of 1-0 games, so they're going to be tough.
All right, we have more Ask the Guys questions. We could turn it into an Ask Matt a Soccer question, too, because I think another one has just come in. But we'll get to that in just a moment. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on. Hey, you realize if you ask us a question about soccer, it's really just asking Matt Jones. If you ask the question about the biggest topic of the day, the Weird Al Yankovic biopic, well, you got two experts right here. Me and Matt Travis. So stick around. Hour number, what's that, Matty?
Phil, I'm sorry. I just realized the TV in studio is a Roku TV, so I've got it pulled up. But Tommy just walked in, and I looked at it and was like, man, I can't watch it right now. I got to be able to focus fully on it. So
it's work. That's work. We have professional reasons to watch the movie.
Yep.
Because somebody's going to ask your opinion of the movie today on the show. You haven't watched it yet.
I need my notepad with me and everything, able to really.
Well, if it's a real biopic, you're going to need your tissues too.
That's right.
I understand that Weird Al overcame a lot of things in life to become the king of the geeks that he's become, which he's been for years, but now it's finally accepted. It is a big day. We just got to be honest about it. And for two guys that sat in the second row at the Tulsa Theater to watch him, I mean, Maddie,
that was amazing.
I know. I had a tear or 10 coming down my cheek.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got that right. Hour number 1 wrapping up after this.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate and worried about your cost rising? Interest rates are rising and you may have a problem. Farm Credit can fix that. Talk to Farm Credit about locking in a long-term fixed rate for the life of your loan. Farm Credit's long-term fixed rates offer peace of mind in changing economic times. We're offering the longest terms in the ag industry. Talk to Farm Credit today. Find an office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
No MSRP markup. At Road Chevrolet, we never price a vehicle over MSRP. Other dealers in our area mark vehicles over MSRP, taking advantage of the times we live in. Not Road Chevrolet. We believe in being honest and looking out for our customers. Wouldn't you rather get a great deal you can feel good about from a locally owned dealership that cares about more than just profit? Before you pay over MSRP, let us show you what we can do. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Let's talk guns at the Tackle Box. Ruger new model Black Hawk 41 Magnum 6.5-inch barrel with a box of shells, $7.99. Benelli M2 20-gauge black synthetic, $11.99. Browning Sweet 16 round knob, Belgium-made improved cylinder, plain barreled 1951 model, $13.99. And remember, the Tackle Box buys and trades guns and the customer wins. Tackle Box is also back into fly fishing. Come check it out.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Think it's tough to hire a lawyer? Try being married to one. I'm Matt Mock, sports marketing consultant and husband at Mock Legal Solutions. When my wife came to me about opening her own firm right here in our hometown, we decided on 4 core values that as a client we both wanted in our lawyers: affordability, accessibility, convenience, and results. At Mock Legal Solutions, we pride ourselves on customer service, and we are grateful for all of our past, current, and future clients. Happy Thanksgiving from our family to yours. Call today for a free consultation, 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Are you an experienced concrete finisher? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forest Grin is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at GoForestGrin.com. GoForestGrin.com. Apply now at GoForestGrin.com. Are you an experienced dump truck driver? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forest Grin is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at GoForestGrin.com. GoForestGrin.com. Apply now at GoForestGrin.com.
The Arkansas Fraternal Order of Police stood tall and unified this week to urge voters to vote no on Issue 4. They're calling the campaign misleading to voters, and they warn of the harm it will bring to our children, along with even more unintended consequences we cannot afford. Stand with the police and vote against Marijuana Issue 4. Paid for by the Family Council Action Committee.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
I hear those ice cream bells and I start to drool. Keep a couple quarts in my locker at school. Yeah, but chocolate's getting old. Vanilla just leaves me cold. There's just one flavor good enough for me. Yeah, me. Don't give me no crummy teaspoon. I know what I need. Baby, I love Rocky Road. So won't you go and buy half a gallon, baby? I love Rocky Road. So have another triple with me. Ow!
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt, I'm going to check out for these next couple of hours. I'm just going to go into the room over here and watch them. You got to play these songs and you're killing me here.
Yes.
Gosh. You all right hosting the show for the next 2 hours by yourself?
We got Clay coming on in a couple hours. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, Clay's with us pretty soon. And I know he doesn't care about watching the Weird Al movie because the George Strait movie is coming out in 2 years. It's also National Jersey Day. I heard the guys on the Morning Rush talking about that. Did you have a favorite uniform that you remember wearing, Matt?
Oh, my junior high Butterfield Van Buren football jersey, number 5, all green. Green's my favorite color. That was.
You went from green to red.
I do not like red. Red
to
is
teal.
I am not a red. Like, if you want to just say colors, like, I'm not. I don't look good in. I'm a redhead. I don't look good in red.
I was going to say your hair's red. How does this work out?
I like baby blue. I like green. I like gray. But yeah, red was it.
Well, the gray will replace the red at some point,
dude.
My friend.
It's coming in.
Yes, it is.
A little salt and pepper.
Oh, I wasn't a red guy either. I was never comfortable in the color red.
Yeah.
And end up, it's just funny how things work out sometimes.
I'd get the gray shirt or the black shirt or the white shirt when I was at Arkansas because I didn't like just the red. And I love it. I love the Razorbacks and stuff, but the color, it's just like, yeah.
Were you okay with the Jaguars colors?
We were black and teal. They were cool. I love Pittsburgh's colors. That black and gold is sharp. That was my favorite jersey, I guess. Randall Cunningham. You saw yesterday, was it Big Papi in the Philadelphia number 12? I always wanted that green Randall. I
always loved with the
eagles on the side.
That's right.
Yeah,
the wings on the side there. I always thought those were cool too.
Well, and LeBron James got in trouble. What was that, his high school year for the jersey? Remember when that was a big thing? That's how long ago that was. It seemed like everybody had. What was your favorite jersey? Yeah, who'd you like?
As far as jerseys went,
yeah.
And I was all the Pittsburgh teams. And you mentioned the Pittsburgh team. They're all black and gold. All three of them.
Their hat were so dope, man. I love the Pittsburgh hat. That old hat that had the lines on it, whatever. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Well, what's your favorite jersey? Since it's National Jersey Day, and when's the last time you actually went to a sporting event wearing a jersey? 877-377-6963. Can also get in all of your Ask the Guys questions. When now Clay Henry is also one of the guys because he's coming on with us in the next segment. And the golden hour is also approaching. So stay with us on this beautiful Friday on Halftime.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bushville. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushville. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Back out of Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Voted best of the best in the River Valley when it comes to new car dealership. Got my buddy Ray with me. And, you know, Ray, if someone's looking for a Bronco Sport or a new truck or a new Expedition or a new Mustang, Randall Ford's a place to shop because we're not just going to show you pictures. We actually have them in stock.
We actually have them in stock. We're super excited about them. We want to show them to you, not only test drive them, touch, feel. You want to see why they're the best-selling vehicles on the market.
You know, Randall Ford's been doing this for a little while, and, you know, being voted best of the best, there's a reason for that, Ray. Family-owned and operated, 114-plus years, same family. You don't stay in business if you're not doing something right, huh?
Exactly. We don't see it as a transaction. You're not a customer. You're our guest. We're going to take care of you.
Perfect. Just come by and ask for Ray.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Come by and see us. We're at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Don't forget, you can always shop us online at randallford.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny start with showers and thunderstorms building in as the front starts to push on through. Temperatures will be into the upper 70s. Showers and some thunderstorms tonight. And overnight low will drop down mid-40s north, 50 south. And then sunny, and it's going to be cooler on Saturday. Our high in the low to mid-60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Make sure you're subscribed to the Hit That Line Podcast Network. If you do, the podcast will automatically download to your phone. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold your roll, hold your roll, hold your roll. I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold your roll, hold your roll. Rock on three. 1, 2, 3. Turn that down, beautiful. Hey, 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 hey.
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I had a moment yesterday before we started halftime. It was an oh crap moment. I actually said something other than crap, but I can't say that here. Because
was it poop? You said poop?
It was pretty close to it.
Oh, darn.
Close enough to it. What have I done? It was kind of something like that. I realized.
Goodness gracious.
I was doing a remote broadcast as normal. I do the show at home.
Great Scott.
Matt Jones. No, I said that all day Monday as I was dressed as Doc Brown, but you knew that. And then Matt Jones was in the Fayetteville studios where I am today. And Clay Henry usually comes on Thursdays, but that means we would have needed a third line for our Comrex equipment for another remote broadcast. And we don't have that. We didn't have that.
So I went fishing.
So Clay ended up getting an extra day, which works out well because I don't think today's a great Today's not great fishing day, is it, Clay?
Well, it is beautiful. It's 65 and blue skies here in Norfolk. The weather is not here yet. It will get here, and it's going to get nasty, and we'll batten down the hatches, right? It's not going to be ugly tonight everywhere.
Did you catch anything?
I caught them like crazy, made the guys around me mad. They were, they were crowding me. I said, hey, here's the fly, here's the place, go ahead, and went to another place. I think I probably caught 75 in 3 hours.
Ain't that fun, man? Me and my pops
it was
used to
great.
do that. I know you talk to him a lot about that fishing. We'd get out there and you catch 75 in about 6 hours of fishing. You just almost every other cast, you bringing one in. It's getting those.
That's
holes
what it was
and
like
catching 10 or 12.
yesterday.
Yeah, man, it's fun.
Clay, I got to tell you a quick story. We got a couple of callers on hold, and we'll get to that too. Matt, maybe you remember this. You and I were doing a show together in Little Rock at the station you'd worked at previously, and I was just filling in for your co-host. And we got on a conversation. I was taking my kids fishing, I think, that weekend. And the conversation was, fishing holes and finding a fishing hole and everything. And I was trying to find the right spot. And I made the mistake of asking Matt Jones, outdoorsman extraordinaire, where his favorite fishing hole is located, not realizing that that's a question that you do not put out on a broadcast service.
You ask, did you catch anything? But you can't ask, hey man, where'd you go? Yeah.
It was like when I hosted Sam Pittman live, and I asked Coach Pittman something about how they're going to line their defense against I forget the opponent. I think it was Mississippi. It's the exact same thing. You're going to answer politely, but you're not going to give an answer either.
Hey, I mean, if you want to, you can sleep with my wife, but I'm not giving you my fishing holes. I'm not going to give you my spots.
On that
Clay.
note, ask Clay. You can ask Clay some questions too at 877-377-6963.
Clay, we used to sometimes me and my pops we would
good.
We wouldn't tie our lures on our rods and reels until we got out there because we didn't want anybody else seeing what we were fishing with. You know, like it's
Oh, and
it's
clip
real
them out.
serious
Clip
stuff.
them
You're
off
good
before
with the
you walk
secret
out.
of sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basketball.
Clay, did you see that? Sorry, Phil. Did you see that guy or the fishing tournament where they were putting the lead weights in the bellies?
Yeah. The walleye tournament. Yep. Yeah, those guys, they're lucky they didn't get just strung up right there and I mean inflated.
Well, it's for money.
$29,000 first prize.
That's what I'm saying, and then they're cheating like that. Oh my! They were sticking other fish. I mean, ugh.
You don't have to
They
string
would
them up.
put sinker weights. Yeah.
The punishment is that they become targets for long casters. They got to stand somewhere where they just get long casted in the cheeks. They get to be treated like a fish for half a day. Speaking of fish, Charlie the tuna has given us a call. That's a nice segue. What's up, Charlie? How are you?
What's up? How are you guys doing? I hear that there's a lot of filtering that's going on the air. I'm guessing when you guys go off the air, everything goes. Is that the way it is? I mean, I know when Maddie and Drew kind of ran the show a little bit, it didn't go that far, but it was kind of halfway.
Not only do you you can't have virgin ears on the commercial breaks for this radio show, and in fact, your ears, Charlie, might start bleeding if you heard some of this.
Man, I hear everything up here, so that ain't nothing. What y'all talking about ain't nothing. So I've definitely probably heard it before. I definitely did not expect Clay to say that, though. He threw me a curveball with that remark he just made just a second ago.
Yeah, man, that was a curveball coming from somebody that you didn't realize that was in his repertoire either.
I did not expect him to say that. Well, I was going to ask you guys though. I was just thinking ahead a little bit. Let's just say hypothetically, if the Hogs finish 9-3, they went out. KJ plays extremely well, and Matt Jones. If you were a betting man, would you say KJ's? If he were to do that here down the stretch, continue to play well, and not just obviously we all know about the ability to run and all that and the size, but I think he's gone 100% if that were to happen. And and then they say they win the bowl game and they finish 10-3. I think he's starting to put some tape out there that he can really, swing it around from the pocket. And so I think 100% he's gone. I was going to ask you though, Matt, I don't understand why scouts are not as attracted towards his game as some of these other guys. I guess it doesn't, a lot of times, scouts project, and you think about a guy that's 6'3", 240 pounds. And he throws the deep ball well. Obviously, he's got some mechanical flaws, and I get all that. There's no perfect to him, but Matt, what do you think it is? I mean, is it the RPO system that they're running, or is it just, last year they had Traylon, so I got 101, I got Traylon, but I'm really starting to see some things, with the touch and on his intermediate throws, and obviously we know about the deep ball, but so you play the quarterback position. I guess all you guys can chime in on this. I know Clay definitely could, and Phil could. So, my point.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
KJ's a stud, man, and he's going to hold all the records up there. I don't know how much the NIL deals and all that stuff plays a role in it. If I'm him and if I'm in his circle and he's listening to people that love him, there's absolutely – I don't care if we win every single game the rest of the year and he throws for 500 yards a game. Like, he is not ready to go to that next level. He needs another year at
You think
least.
he needs another year?
Another. I mean, from what I've seen, and Clay, you can tell me what you've seen and some of the quarterbacks that come through. But
Appreciate
just talent-wise, he's a stud, and he's going to have a chance to play on Sundays and will play on Sundays. This is no question about it. If he stays healthy, his trajectory, but he needs another. If you're going to draft him, you're just taking him in the 5th, 6th, 7th, or you're taking him late, and he's just going to be a backup. You're not drafting him early next year. So if he stays another year, then he can come back, and then you'll be talking about him how they're talking about Hooker and then how they're talking about some of the other guys that are saying, well, he could be a top 10 pick. Like, so absolutely, if he has anybody around him giving advice and taking care of him and listening, come back for one more year at least and get better.
thing that's really ironic to me is you say, okay, he's in a spread RPO game. Well, who isn't? They all are now. Hendon Hooker, you'd think, well, he doesn't have a choice. He came back for his last year, so he's going out. But it's like, who do you see that's running a West Coast pro offense? And if you watch the NFL, you see that a lot now, don't you, Matt? I mean, they sprinkled in.
Glean. Yes, they do. They glean whatever you're doing there. Both sides do, but that's you saw that with some RG3, Andrew Luck. You saw some of their offensive coordinators go actually to the NFL team with them to keep them comfortable. That's wild when you think about it. But some of this going on. But yes, they do. And KJ's a stud. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Man. He's a stud. He needs another year, maybe even two. But I do not think he's ready.
So what I see is that he throws the short stuff. I'm talking about, behind the line of scrimmage. He's got that down. He's going to give a catchable ball to the wide receiver. The early part of the wheel route. The little short dumps. He's good with all that. The timing is good with that. He has a feel for the pocket. He's not scared to stand there. He's done that better this year. It looks like goes through his progressions a little better. He's still, that's part of it that's still got to, become stronger. He throws the deep ball with unbelievable touch. He has the vision of the field to see it. He knows where it's going to happen. The part that the slants, he can be in the front or behind. That's timing, Matt, isn't it? Just throwing the slant over and over.
When you're throwing slants and you're really throwing through lanes, and you got to get those windows right. Those are tough. I struggled with. I wasn't near as talented throwing the ball as some of these Razorback quarterbacks, but I did. That was a pass that I struggled with, but I could get whatever. But KJ, and he kind of he sells the ball a little bit. His miss be the sell it. And the other thing is he can't rush the ball 100 times after 8 games in the NFL. He can't take these hits, so he's got to learn. He's got to learn to get rid of the ball a little bit better. But in college, he's a big man. He can do that a little bit. And actually, he had to miss a game for a concussion, but he's going to have to settle down on that at the next level for sure.
Yeah, so I think that he'll play in the NFL, but because of the NIL and there's cash that he can send home, it looks like you can kind of ride in the saddle a little longer. And I don't think it's going to hurt his family. Yeah.
It's like there isn't a rush at all.
No.
And the other aspect, too, is
I think he will play another year at Arkansas.
Yeah.
Part of this is also, and I remember thinking he was going to end up in the draft at the start of the season. And the more I think about this, it's like it's different sport to sport. Look what is Jalen Williams doing right now? And I'm not saying that when he entered the NBA draft, it wasn't a good thing for him. He's not playing. He's not in the G League. He's not playing. He has played one game out of the first, 7 or 8 that OKC has played. Mm-hmm. You go get drafted by a Major League Baseball team, they're going to let you simmer in the minor leagues in their stew for a couple of years at the minimum. For a football player, you sit there. Brandon Allen is not playing. He's practicing. There's a way to get better during practice, but you can't get any better than when you're playing a game.
You're going to get better coaching. He's going to get better coaching if he stays at another year at Arkansas getting all the reps. You're exactly right. Then if you go to there, you're running scout team and you're not getting the reps. You're not on film. The starting quarterback is the one getting all the reps.
You simmer as an NFL player, that means
Aaron Rodgers sit for a year or two, right? He was. I know he's behind a legend, but each thing's situational and the right fit, but. Talent-wise, I think he's got it, and he's going to get better. I think he's going to be so much better next year. Next year could be the year,
Hey guys, let's take another phone call, and then we'll have the break. 877-377-6963 for anything you want to talk about. Kyle in Birmingham up next on Halftime. What's up, Kyle? Thanks for the call.
Yeah, you guys were talking about jerseys earlier, and since Matt is now on the show, I had to share this story. So. I actually grew up and lived in Hot Springs, and most recently moved to Birmingham, Alabama, obviously. And at the end of 2021, I went with my wife to a TJ Maxx in Hoover, Alabama, and none other than Matt Jones' number 18 Jaguars jersey was on the shelf. So I just had to share that story. I remember.
That's funny.
I remember growing up, that was like a prized possession. Like if you didn't go to school after Matt got drafted by the Jags, with that jersey, you're pretty lame. So I just had to share that story. I figured somebody would enjoy that.
Kyle also sharing his fashion secrets at TJ Maxx here on halftime. I like the store myself. It's a good choice.
TJ Maxx, Kohl's, all those type of stores in there, yeah.
You never quite know what you're going to find there. Hey, Kyle also, the way he says Jaguars, that always kind of kicked me a little bit. Jaguars. Jaguars. Jaguar. That's what the lady says on the Jaguar ad.
You go to England, it's Jaguars.
I say Jaguars.
Jaguars.
I say 10.
Kyle, you need to get that thing signed by Matt at some point. So ship it to the radio station and self-addressed stamped box. Yeah, that's the way you got to go with it. Hey, Kyle, appreciate the call. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Again, it's 877-377-6963. Sorry, Clay, go ahead.
The coolest, I've got a friend that somehow found an old-style Arkansas football helmet that was worn back in the day of Lance Allworth. They didn't have hogs on the side. They had the numbers. Mm-hmm. He got the decals and set it up with Lance Allworth's number on the side of the helmet. Well, I know Lance. I've got his number. And he wanted him to autograph it. So he set it up with the box, sent it to his house. Lance autographed it, wrote him a note on the helmet, and then he had the Chargers bring him a San Diego Charger helmet just like it, same vintage. He autographed that and sent it to with a jersey.
How cool.
Lance did all of that.
That's a good dude, man. That's cool.
I just had a great idea for Christmas time. I'm going to bring about 50 footballs up here. And, Matt, do you mind? I got gifts for the whole family if you could sign them.
There's some resale shops that might be interested in those too, Matty. Sounds like a lot of fun. By the way, guys.
That's $5 a signature, Matt, just in case you forgot.
Me. Yeah, you're overpaying me.
For those with the Jaguars.
Jaguar.
See, that's how I'm told to say it.
Jaguar.
I don't hear wires or anything there.
Jaguar.
Yeah, that's slow for those in the back.
Who is that? That's
a woman on. It's a woman who was paid millions of dollars by Google to say the word properly.
Or was it soft J?
Yeah.
Mrs. Google.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, starring Matt Jones.
Woo, Matthew Jones.
Brought to you by The Fence Man. The Fence Man should be your only call when it comes time for new gates and fence repairs at your house. They'll do the large commercial jobs. They'll do the small residential repairs, wood privacy fence, commercial or residential chain link, or custom wrought iron fencing. The Fence Man is the only call. 479-782-3936 for The Fence Man. And make sure to ask about 18-month, same as cash financing. If it involves fencing, The Fence Man does it. He ain't afraid of no work. And halftime is back after a quick break.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your
basketball and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Somewhere near the back, where the bouncers won't attack. I think the world's about to end. I don't need your love, I just need a friend.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And Clay Henry with us as well as we move through this Friday on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Are we allowed to mention the coming rain without reminding everybody how much we need the rain? These things just seem to go together. Anytime it might rain in a couple of days, and boy, do we need it. And I know it's the facts, but
I just wish we could get like a little bit of rain over a period of time instead of like no rain forever and then a whole bunch of rain at once.
Enough of these deluges, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Well, it should be pretty good weather for the game tomorrow. By the time kickoff rolls around, things should be clear and we should be all right. Although the
cool and crisp
a little
is
bit
what
wet.
I hear. Yep.
Cool and crisp. Yeah, 58 degrees at kickoff. I'll take that for November the 5th. Be pretty happy with that kind of weather for a football game in November, because I've been to some other games in November where you needed a layer on top of layer. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on Halftime. Liberty doesn't know who they're going to start at quarterback. I heard Chuck this morning talking about he thinks that that's maybe a little bit overblown. There have been quarterbacks that have played with flu-like symptoms previously. This Jonathan Bennett really sounds like if he's with Charlie Brewer's hand not healing the way that Liberty would have hoped, that it sounds like Bennett, who quarterbacked them in the last couple of games, is their guy for the time being. But flu-like symptoms during the week, sometimes you're not really at 100% on a Saturday. Look, I've understood you can't always play where you're feeling 100%. There's just something about dealing with the flu in the week that you're getting ready to play that just feels like you're like climbing uphill.
Yeah, you got to stay hydrated. You get tired a lot sooner when you kind of fighting that thing. And this late in the season, if it's a nagging physical injury or whatever, everybody's kind of banged up. I mean, if you're playing, everybody's a little banged up this late in the year.
How do you handle at this point? Like KJ's got this shoulder, which is still a thing. They've limited his throwing.
I could only throw twice a week.
Really?
Like I had. So when I got to college, I could throw a football 72 yards. I sound like Uncle Rico. I could throw it over those mountains, right? Like I could throw it 70, but when I left, I could throw it 55. Like I
Did you then go make yourself a damn quesadilla?
Yeah, that's right. Go feed Tina. Exactly. Why you eating all the steak? You know he's a vegetarian. He had to spit the steak every time. Yeah. But no, and so you got to Eric. Actually, I was sitting there with Dean Weber the other night and talking about Eric. Eric, the trainer, I had spent more time with him than I was spending with anybody else just to get my shoulder right to throw every Saturday. You have to go in and do an hour of maintenance and do all sorts of stuff. So that's what he's having to do, and I was always fine on Saturday, and it looks like he's always fine on Saturday.
So you wouldn't feel like you didn't have to deal with that much pain during games?
Right. I could only throw twice a week. Like I had to rest the shoulder. I couldn't throw every day because my shoulder would start hurting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So what age were you when you finally got your shoulder fixed?
Oh, after I retired a few years. You know, they tell you to always wait. They tell you to wait as long as you can. And it was just this dull, numb, aching pain. It was just always there. And I went and had surgery, and now you think, man, I should have waited a little. Like it's just a different thing. It's just one of those things that it'll always be there.
That's like doing radio with Ty. Just a dull pain.
Dull pain.
I'm just gonna let that sit there for a moment. But I mean, did it affect your throwing motion?
Well, it affects a little bit, and we're speaking about doing things left-handed, and so it would be. You go out there on practice, and I'd throw left-handed on Thursdays, because he couldn't, or the other quarterback.
Could you throw a football left-handed?
I mean, Danny Nutt, one of the things, Danny Nutt had me going. He could throw one left-handed, play catch with him. He's pretty fun. Clay, I would tell you, he's got some handles on him.
Yep, I've seen all of the Nutt boys play basketball, and you know what kind of hands they have. I mean, athletic? Nah, they're not that athletic as far as foot speed. Especially Houston. But, man, they had great hands. They could shoot it with either hand in basketball. You ever play basketball with Houston in those games over?
We did. So your boy Clark Moore, me and him played a 2-on-2 with Danny and Houston. And afterwards they were both like, man, Clark was better than we – like Clark had some touch and finesse around. Now, he couldn't catch a football, and he'd overthrow. Nobody could steal center field on you. But he had some touch on him, man. He was a heck of a basketball player.
Yeah, he was. I saw him play, and then he'd knock you around under the basket too. He's strong.
That's it. His nickname was Horse. AAU basketball Horse, man. And he has some boys that are, I think, junior high school. They look just like him, man. They're little studs.
If you beat Houston and Danny, they don't ask you back, do they?
When we beat him, they were like, that's the first time we played George. We played Sparky. We played all these. I said, yeah, but I'm a basketball player, Coach. He's like, I see that.
Well, no, you're 6'5", 6'6".
That's when he realized exactly that you were a basketball player, too. I might have wanted to play that sport first and foremost. Huh.
That's it. I mean, that's one of the reasons I went to Arkansas. I mean, because Coach Nutt, we gelled and got together, and that was a big thing that I wanted to do, and I appreciate him keeping his word about that because it gets tricky. And you don't see a lot of two-sport athletes. I guess Connor Nolan did, but then he chose baseball. But it's tricky
Marcus
to kind
Monk
of.
did it, yeah.
Monk was a stud. How good, dude? You want to talk about hands?
Oh, yeah.
Peyton Hillis and
Marcus
Monk. That's
hands.
it. Yes, all day.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty cool watching him play, and he saw things. He knew where everybody was. Better keep your head up and your eyes open because Marcus would hit you with the ball right in the face.
Yep. Yeah, that's Malik's brother. I don't know if you ever saw him play
basketball. I remember watching Malik play.
Well,
still
Marcus,
playing.
Yeah, Marcus, though. You can see where he gets it. It's in his bloodline. Yeah.
I remember some of the feelings people had towards Marcus when Malik decided to go to UK. That was a really interesting thing, too. 877-377-6963 to get with this on halftime. We'll break here and come back in just a moment. Hey, you might be a sports card and memorabilia collector, but the hobby is hot right now. So is the collection at It's a Sports Thing in Rogers. They've got autographed jerseys, bats, balls, and the hottest cards in the market. They got silent auctions running every week. You bring your cards in, and people bid on them. It is as simple as that. It's a Sports Thing has the best unique novelty Christmas gifts for any sports fan that you know. Replica NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball jerseys for the little sports fans and sports memorabilia signed by your favorite players. It's a Sports Thing. They're at 1417 West Walnut. It's right across from the Rogers DMV, and they're also online at itsasportsthing.com. More with Matt Jones and Clay Henry on halftime after this quick break.
Hey, this is Mitch at Red River Ram Dodge Chrysler and Jeep, and folks, this is my favorite time of year. It's Jeep Freedom Days, and at Red River, one thing we believe in, that's freedom. Like right now, you've got the freedom to order your car online at redriverjeep.com. You can custom build it and get it however you want. And you have the freedom to take the in-person experience and come in and order your vehicle right here from a salesperson or buy one right off our lot. So make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com.
The Powerball jackpot from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is now more than $1 billion. So, what would you do if you won?
I'd buy a baseball team.
Ooh, I would definitely buy my mom a Tesla so that she can drive cool, look cool.
If I won a jackpot, I'll start a cooking school for the youth in the city.
Got your ticket? If not, visit your local lottery retailer for your chance to win the Powerball jackpot of more than $1 billion. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Hardee's new Charbroiled Double Deals, starting at $2.99 each, have the Academy for New Offerings hailing this double cheeseburger deal as very new indeed. How much more new does it get than the new Bacon Double Cheeseburger and the new California Classic Double Cheeseburger? Not much newer than that. Well, I've got news for the Academy. After this, I'm getting myself a double cheeseburger from this new deal. The new Charbroiled Double Deal, starting at $2.99 each at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
Fall has arrived. That means woo pigs, tailgate parties, apple festivals, pumpkin spice, and everything nice. Don't miss the fun because your car won't run. Drive into fall with automotive maintenance and repairs you can trust from W&W Automotive. This is Mark at W&W. We offer affordable repair solutions for all makes and models, foreign or domestic, including front-end work and alignments. Call me or Kelly at 242-1600 or come see us just off of Townsend on South O in Fort Smith. That's W&W Automotive, a bumper-to-bumper certified shop.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized dealer in the River Valley. You might know us as your source for large Xerox multifunction or production printers. But for many of you, your needs have changed. Smaller equipment has become more necessary, and we are here to help. We carry the Xerox desktop models, but also brother workhorse printers and multifunctions with 3-year replacement warranties included. So give us a call at 479-783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document solutions to the River Valley.
When you need to customize your ride, whether for work or play, check out River Valley Truck Outfitters. Full line of LED lights for your headlights to work lights, B&W hitches, toolboxes, ladder racks for all your work needs or play, grill guards to full front bumper replacements, full line of WeatherTech and Husky floor mats. Let River Valley Truck Outfitters get your window tinting on. Best prices and quality in the Fort Smith area. River Valley Truck Outfitters can get your ride ready on Highway South 71 on top of Rye Hill. 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Ask shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howell about Renter's Insurance.
The Arkansas Fraternal Order of Police stood tall and unified this week to urge voters to vote no on Issue 4. They're calling the campaign misleading to voters, and they warn of the harm it will bring to our children, along with even more unintended consequences we cannot afford. Stand with the police and vote against Marijuana Issue 4, paid for by the Family Council Action Committee.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Ooh, my little hungry one. Open up a package of my bologna. Ooh, I think the toast is done. The toast is done. Top it with a little of my bologna. Never gonna stop. Eat it up. Such a tasty snack. I always eat too much and throw up. But I'll soon be back for woo! My bologna.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Clay Henry with us as well as we're now I'll officially call it the home stretch, and we're in the second half of the show, and it's a Friday. That is officially the home stretch because the goofy stuff starts in like 25 minutes for the Golden. We'll talk sports too. You kind of gotta. As I heard an interesting piece of information this morning, Cole Kubelik had figured this out. Jaden Daniels, the quarterback for the LSU Tigers, if you take away the negative plays, you take away the sacks, which of course go on your rushing record.
Kneels anytime you kneel the ball late in the game, yeah.
You take those away. Jaden Daniels leads all quarterbacks in rushing yards this year in the country, well over 600 of them, and that's a thing, man. That that makes him incredibly dangerous, and I think against Alabama too makes him really dangerous. More than anything, though, when Arkansas gets them next week, I think he's the best quarterback that Arkansas plays for the remainder of the season, and might actually, I think if you take away, well, you can't take away, but Bryce Young, top of the list. After that, it's Jaden Daniels and this set of receivers that LSU has. Look, I mean, they may end up losing to Alabama in Baton Rouge tomorrow, but they're going to come into Fayetteville next week, and that is a really tough offense to deal with right now. Quarterback, top of the list, reasons why.
And you bring up a great point. I haven't heard anybody this week say that, Phil. And what is one thing Saban has been known to struggle against? A quarterback that has mobility. You look at the Johnny Manziel, you look at Gus Malzahn when he was at Auburn, and some of those quarterbacks that can run around a little bit, they seem to give him trouble. And LSU has some talent. I'm very interested. Clay, have we asked you, who do you got in this LSU-Alabama game?
I got LSU. And now here's what I see. When they started the year, their quarterback dropped back, and he looked at one guy, and if that guy wasn't open or he didn't like it, he ran. And you could just see Brian Kelly just fuming on the sidelines. And he would come over, and then he would point. It's like, you didn't look at that guy. I mean, you just see him point to a different quadrant on the field. You didn't look there. And as the season has progressed, he has progressed. He has gotten better. He runs through his progressions. If he gets man-to-man and he knows an area has been cleared out, then he is going to run. Mm-hmm. But he's going to look to throw first, and he has developed. And I knew this was going to happen because I've seen Brian. I watched Notre Dame some because they've been in meaningful games, and I've seen the adjustments that his teams make first half or first quarter to second quarter to the third quarter to fourth quarter. He is a terrific coach, and he got a lot of grief early for that Florida State thing, and then not pronouncing words right or faking his Cajun dialect or whatever. But the guy is really a good coach. There was never a doubt that he would coach this team up, as opposed to what was happening before he got there.
That's very true. He is a little more complex. It seems like
No
his
question.
plays wordy. Yeah, because and that's why when as a quarterback, when you have 4 reads and you don't know what to do, but he's relying on his feet. So he's kind of he's learning the offense and getting mature. And you kind of growing up in front of your eyes.
You could see that frustration from some of their wide receivers, even in that Florida State game.
Yeah, because they were open and he didn't see them.
Yeah, he and Keishan Booty were kind of, I don't know if they were screaming at each other, but it was after that first week, like Booty, and
it's not because he
washed all references to LSU in his social media. It felt like things weren't going well there, and now it's now he's productive, and Daniels is productive as a passer and not just as a runner.
And he's going to get better.
And you look
this
also,
isn't going to just the development isn't going to just stop this week.
Clay, you mentioned
and that's what I worry about.
You mentioned that first game when they played Florida State, and it's like there's 2 teams in the country that had. Look, there aren't a lot of week 1 wow games. LSU, Florida State grabs your attention. So did Georgia and Oregon.
Yes.
Now Oregon, that's their one loss. Who knows? Maybe they still are in the running. They probably are still in the running for college football playoff.
Some help.
But they need some help. LSU would be in the running without that loss to Florida State, and it's ifs, ands, and buts and that kind of stuff. But the first game of the year still matters. I think when the committee comes down to it, a loss is a loss. But they've improved so much since then. And that was special teams, if I remember, that really did them in that game. LSU next week, 11 in the morning. Yuck. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on halftime. And calls and texts coming in. It's National Jersey Day. Jeremiah in Cedarville liked the Corey Beck old school practice jersey. Nick likes the 90s Patriots royal blue. Those were okay. Those look good.
Hey,
but
those Phillies jerseys were sweet last night.
Now, that was weird, though, because they were wearing
baby blues.
They're wearing the powder blues at home. I always associated those as road jerseys in Major League Baseball. A lot of teams, when they wore those, and a lot of them do now, but, I guess you can wear whatever you want in a lot of cases, especially when the opponent is wearing orange. Nobody else is going to be wearing orange. How about ugly jerseys?
That's what I say. That was the Astros did not look pretty.
How about the Astros jerseys from the 70s? You remember the video game Breakout?
Orange teams.
No, Nolan Ryan. I know they put it into your button pants.
Yeah, it looked like the weirdest version of Arkanoid that they played. Yeah, too much orange, Clay. But and it wasn't just one shade of orange. It was various browns and oranges and yellows and. I don't know. That Astros, the 70s Astros jersey was really kind of ugly.
Those Padres jerseys were sick, though. That brown and gold in the playoffs this year when they beat the Dodgers, they look really nice.
Oh, they were ugly.
I remember the jersey.
So
the uniforms
my hatred for orange, Little Rock Hall. They were our rivals. Little Rock. I played at Little Rock Central. Hated. And by the way, the sweetest day of my life was I made the basketball team at Little Rock Central as a 10th grader, and we won a state championship that year and won as a senior. I didn't play. I switched to golf as a junior and senior, but I made the team. And the day we got our uniforms, Matt, we got all black, tops and bottoms, all white. We got low-cut black cons. We got low-cut white cons. And then we got black warm-ups and white warm-ups. And that was back in the day when Little Rock Central was the beast. And I remember going home and laid it all out in my room and I cried.
Awesome. Yeah.
All the different combinations.
What number were you?
I was 11.
Nah, it's a good number right there. Yeah.
Matt, I got to show you that this might be the ugliest uniform of all time. This was the 2001 Arizona Diamondbacks World Series champions. Randy John, look at this. He's got the longest arms in baseball. There's no sleeve. It's like you could fit an entire barrel of oil in those sleeves.
Was that Kurt Schilling with him on that that pitching staff? And that they were tough.
But
and that's an ugly uniform.
That's purple
that's ugly.
And teal, sleeveless, with a scary-looking, ugly rattler on the side of the T-shirt sleeves. It's like somebody threw up
like
on his arm.
Zumba pants that would be those big pants. Yeah. Ugh.
Did you mention the Steelers Bumblebee uniform? Those were like a throwback. I guess they used to wear them in the 30s. You remember they made Ben Roethlisberger.
They look like rugby uniforms.
It looked like the largest bumblebee on earth.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Bright yellow is not necessarily
Orange.
a color that belongs on the field like as the dominant color of a uniform.
That's right. So we were green and white, and our rival was green and gold. So it's like we didn't want no gold. Yeah, no yellow.
Do you have thoughts on anthracite? Arkansas anthracite.
Keep it to your cars. Keep it to the color of your truck.
Yeah, I have a feeling that you're getting a lot of head nods across our listening audience right now.
That's not even. I don't even know why we'd do that again.
Did you ever have a uniform combo that you looked at and were like, what were you wearing this today?
We used to go these white jerseys, red pants against Auburn when Fred Talley. That was a sick look. But I just loved our red jerseys with the white pants with the red stripe down it, and just simple, classic. Just that's my. I like Penn State's uniform or Michigan. Like I like to just be able to see a team on the TV without seeing the name of it and just tell by who they are by their uniform. When we're wearing anthracite, you're like, I think we're watching some MAC team or something. That's not how the Razorbacks look.
Now there's a legendary uniform, and this is National Jersey Day, the reason we're talking about this, that was worn once ever and then I think brought back like 30 years later. One game in 1979. These were called the Phillies Saturday Night Specials. They were all –
and Leonard Skinner was out there at the seventh inning?
All burgundy uniform. All burgundy uniform.
Like A-Rod's suit last night?
Sure. You have the picture what the Phillies were wearing last night with the powder blue from head to toe, and now change the powder blue to dark burgundy. They look like somebody had spilled an entire vat of wine all over them. The players hated. They were supposed to wear these every Saturday for the entire season. They wore it once.
I just pulled
because
it up,
the players threw them all into a giant pile in the clubhouse. Heck, they might have set fire to those things.
Oh my goodness.
We got a caller on hold. Let's take the phone call. Ryan in Hot Springs has given us a call. What's up, Ryan? You're on halftime.
I think Denver did the exact same thing to their brown and yellow ones before they went to the Orange Crush.
Well, the Broncos right now need to take whatever they're wearing and throw it on the other side of the Flathead Iron Mountains.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. The Bronco fan, it's rough, especially when we feel like we got the rug yanked out from under us. Being we thinking we got something with Russ, and then it's just been very putrid. But I don't gripe too many times about 11 o'clock games, but I'm kind of upset about next weekend because it's going to kind of tear into my deer hunting a little bit. Cause, because I'm going to have to get down by probably 9:45, 9:30. Provided I don't kill one, because then because if you any later, then you got to track it up, and then you got to skin it, and you got to get it on ice, and then you're looking at missing kickoff. So I'm not happy about next weekend. And I'm also not happy with the fact we ain't had a night game in almost 2 years. Y'all, what do y'all think our chances up for the Ole Miss game? Not good, or what y'all thought? And I'll hang up and listen. Hope y'all have a great day and go Hogs.
Oh, I mean, it really just depends. Honestly, it feels like it depends on what happens this weekend.
Right. If LSU wins, it's not going to be an 11. I mean, if Ole Miss keeps
and it also depends on what it is you're up against.
I forget we're playing LSU early, but Ole Miss, if they keep winning,
the good thing is that's like cupcake. That's cupcake weekend.
They have a bye
in
week,
a lot
right?
of
Did
cases.
They play Bama? Is that who?
Georgia, Kentucky. That's one you're up against that weekend. South Carolina, Tennessee, you're up against. Otherwise, Arkansas, Ole Miss is one of the better SEC league games that weekend. All right, we got one more caller. I want to get the call before the break. Sterling has given us a call. What's up, Sterling?
Hey, guys. Hope y'all having a great day. And I know y'all up against the break, and you got to do the recap, and probably got a guest at 1 o'clock, so I'm going to try to be brief and quick because, I'm trying to help the people.
It's a Friday. Sterling's called to help the people like last week, and you helped the people if they paid attention to you.
Yeah, and we're going to start with the NFL. We're going to go with just two. I like others, but then all the averages catch up with you. So we're just going to go with two. The Commanders at +3 against the Vikings. That's a scary one because Cousins is great at noon games. It's the primetime games where Cousins has trouble. But I'm going to go with the Commanders at +3. And I'm going to go with the Falcons, also +3 against the Chargers. Chargers going from west to east, playing at noon, 2 travel time zone teams, and I'm going with the Falcons. Now in the college, gonna take the Hogs. Now I got them early in the week at 13.5. Now it's 14.5. So, I mean, some people don't like giving up that hook on the 14. Now I understand if you don't, but I don't think the Hogs will have any trouble this week. I think they just roll right through Liberty. And as much as I hate to do it, so it's all about money. It's all about money. It's not a sense of loyalty to this team. It's just about fattening your pocket.
To yourself.
That's right. The Texas Longhorns, minus 2.5 at Kansas State. The Texas Longhorns. And a sneaky good team. They don't play very good defense, but North Carolina goes to Virginia at -7.
All right, Sterling.
Texas has been horrible on the road. Horrible.
We'll see if that holds. Hey, you can get all the best odds right now at Bet Saracen. And don't forget, I mean, you can hear about all the odds that Vegas has for you and the other apps, but you got to be there to legally bet those odds. Arkansas law prevents all those big national apps from operating in our state. So if you want to take all the advice from Sterling and get the most accurate, up-to-date sports wagering info, you need to have Bet Saracen on your phone. They got it for iPhone. They got it for Android. You can also use BetSaracen.com. And be sure to check out the really cool video of how to play featuring Jancy Sheets. We'll wrap up hour number 2 of Halftime after a quick break.
Into the future.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
And 95.3. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2 here on Halftime with a really quick segment. We've got like a minute or so here to do it, and that means the golden hour is fast approaching. I want to wish a happy birthday to Matthew McConaughey, who I think you'd have to work on growing out the facial hair and everything and maybe grow a few inches. But Matt Jones, I don't know. He could possibly play you if there's a Matt Jones character that needs to that's on the silver screen at some point.
Maybe Matthew Lillard. We could go. He's tall. I'm trying to think of somebody.
He's
tall.
too goofy looking for you, Matt.
Yeah.
Can I get you to
maybe Carey Mulligan? You know, she looks.
Can I get you to say, all right, all right, all right?
All right.
Yeah, that's Matthew McConaughey right there, age 53.
He's a University of Texas guy, so I don't like him.
Well, maybe that's the reason why we can't do it. He's done movies in Arkansas before.
Dude, Mud. He did Mud, yeah.
Oh, Mud. Yeah, Mud was good.
White River, baby.
Well, he is the University of Texas Longhorns Director of Culture, if I remember correctly. So he'd have to give up that esteemed position in order
but
to
he
play
drives a Buick.
Matt Jones.
Oh, those commercials. Oh, my goodness. You're like, what did I just watch right there?
I like the one that made fun of him on SNL.
He's rolling a booger.
Rolling a booger in front of the vent. Yeah. That's a good image to go into the commercial break with. 877-377-6963. Don't roll your boogers. We'll be right back.
Frank Rowe Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Marlin, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
With everyday low prices on top brands, as well as our popular Ace Rewards card, locally owned Yeager's Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these great deals at any of our 4 locations with your Ace Rewards card. DeWalt 20-volt max drill kit with bonus drill bit set, only $139. And Rayovac 30-pack double or AAA batteries are only $8.99. Yeager's Ace Hardware is your place for solo stoves, Traeger grills, and the Big Green Egg. Yeager's, offering real service with real savings.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. That's it for today. Bud Light, crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny start with showers and thunderstorms building in as a front starts to push on through. Temperatures will be into the upper 70s. Showers and some thunderstorms tonight. And overnight low will drop down mid-40s north, 50 south. And then sunny, and it's going to be cooler on Saturday. Our high in the low to mid-60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Brewer to Jones for the slam. How about Matt Jones? Did he sky?
Weekdays from 11 to 2.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope!
I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, beautiful! Hey!
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Third hour halftime on a Friday means it's all fun and games now. Counting you down until Arkansas and Liberty. We are 26 hours away. Things will get started tomorrow, 10 o'clock on our network with Arkansas Game Day on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com. Our Learfield pregame beginning at 12 noon, 3 o'clock kick. And, of course, after the Learfield postgame is concluded, Hog Reaction to get all of your thoughts on Arkansas and Liberty. Clay Henry also with us as we get into our final hour of halftime. Calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963. It is National Jersey Day. What's your favorite or least favorite jersey? Or what's the one that you've got stashed away in your closet? I still have a couple of jerseys that I don't wear ever. One of them is a Ted Williams jersey from, I think it would have been 1941. Replica, not one that he actually wore. And then the other is a classic Travelers jersey. You guys would love this one. This was a real jersey from the late 60s when the Travelers were a Cardinals affiliate, and they wore uniforms like the Cardinals did, Travelers with birds on the bat on the chest.
Nice.
Cream colors, too. The only thing that's not cool about this uniform that I got because I worked for the team is that it got stashed away somewhere at the old ballpark, which, as you know, Clay, was overrun by cat colonies. And Yeah, the Cats relieved themselves on the box that these uniforms were being stashed in.
Sure,
that's
they did.
probably a reason I got this thing for free because nobody's going to ever buy it.
And Clay, I got one of my jerseys. Go ahead, Clay.
Man.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I sent Phil and Maddie T a picture this morning, and I had and I didn't even know it, but I had my Liverpool jersey on, and it was Felipe Coutinho, and it was number 11. I thought you'd get a kick out of that because it was number 11.
No, that's not a uniform. That's a kit.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
It's not a jersey. It's a kit, and you wear boots. Yeah, and you play on the pitch.
And nobody practices. It's training.
It's at the academy.
These are very important distinctions between the sports.
Roberto Firmino, we call him Bobby Chompers. That's the guy I got his jersey. He's a Brazilian national.
Chompers because he's got big teeth?
He's got he went in so that they got Liverpool has their own dentist. And you can look at everybody, look at Jurgen Klopp come in and look at all the team come in, and whenever they get there, and then after about 12 months, all of them have pretty smiles, and he wanted his teeth whiter than his white. So because whenever he is, it's like this. So we call it, Men in Blazers. I don't know if you know that show, but they call him Bobby Chompers. He's awesome.
Well, here it was. I thought that it would be like, they got team grills put on by the team dentist. Kind of how like Devo Davis and the basketball team, they've all painted their nails.
The dentist comes to you. Yeah, the salon comes to you.
Clay, those jerseys, though, were really sharp, the birds on the bat. It doesn't – I joked a little bit about the cat urine smell. That's been gone for a long time, I think, for the most part.
Well, I grew up at Ray Winder, and so I can remember when the Phillies were Ferguson Jenkins pitched for the Travelers and Adolfo Phillips. My hero was Danny Napoleon. He played left field. It was during the Phillies' time, and he was a big fat guy. And he, they had that dump in left field, that went up towards the scoreboard, and he never went up the dump. If the ball went up the dump, he waited for the center fielder to come get it. Mm-hmm. He just turned and looked, and he'd look over at the center fielder. I mean, he could hit home runs, but he had no position. There was no DH back then, so he was never going to be called up because he was horrible in the field. But those Cardinals.
Did you see that last night, Clay, when the center fielder and the right fielder, he glances at the center fielder thinking he's going to come get the ball, and he sees that he's not going to get the ball, and then goes over there and makes the play.
Went and got it, yeah.
I mean, what are we doing in the World Series? Yeah, having that come out, yeah.
How about the Astros winning the game basically on two late defensive plays? One of them by a guy that was only Trey Mancini. The only reason he's in the game is because Yuli Gurriel got a hit in the head on a rundown coming towards the plate and then makes a potential game-saving play at first base.
He had only played as a DH, had not put on a glove in 26 games.
Yeah.
And made that play.
And then
that means your team is destined. You've got fate on your side.
McCormick, the center fielder that made that incredible leaping catch, I mean, we know he's practically a Philadelphian. I mean, he grew up going to games at Citizens Bank Ballpark, played at little Millersville University, a Division II school in eastern Pennsylvania, and he had a huge part of breaking his well, he's not from Philadelphia, but they all view themselves as Philadelphians. They're breaking their hearts. Man, what a moment.
After that 1-1 start last night, I thought the over for sure. I didn't think the game would end 3-2. If Philadelphia loses, Houston wins. Next, who do you guys have so far? Who's really has anybody stood out? I know the no-hitter was collective. I know Jose Altuve is a baller. But if Houston wins, I don't see him giving the MVP to Philly like they used to back in the day when you'd have somebody on a losing team win it. You think that'll happen again? You don't see that anymore. They give it to the team with the.
I think it's only happened once in Major League Baseball history. I think it's only happened once in the NFL.
Yeah, I think that's what I mean. Yeah,
and you're going into the 70s. I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, I think that the guy that's got a chance, and he got a 5-out save last night, is Ryan Presley. And he'll get one more save if they win it. I mean, that's going to be he'll get the ball, right?
Well, I mean, there's some guys on that team offensively that have hit well, but no one's had that dominant World Series yet. And so when I look at the numbers here, the guy that might be at the top of the list has only pitched in one game. Christian Javier, 6 no-hit innings. That's been he's got the best stat line of anybody that's in this World Series right now.
The hero with the bat last night was a rookie, Jeremy Pena, shortstop. if he would do something to win another game, if he would be the star for their third win and their fourth win, then he could be the MVP. So there, it's what happens in this last game.
Right.
I mean,
if
it could
Valdez
be.
goes out there and pitches a great. Could he win?
Yeah.
Getting 2 wins, he could be it too.
He could be it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's tomorrow too, so thank goodness it's a night game tomorrow. They don't play afternoon games in the World Series anyway.
That was a pretty fun game
first
last
pitch Central
night.
Time. What's that?
Yeah, that was a pretty fun game last night.
Yeah, it was.
A lot
It was
of intensity,
intense.
a lot of drama.
Yeah.
Crowd did not sit down really for the last 7 innings, and then the sad part is Verlander's not going to pitch again, so we won't see any more Kate Upton. Although we could see her if they have a celebration on the field. They definitely will interview him, and Kate Upton will be, draped around him, and that's not a bad scene.
So Verlander, I wanted to double check on his. He had a career World Series ERA that was over 6 before yesterday, and then got out with those 5 scoreless and was really good. So I'm always interested in how a World Series and how an ERA gets lowered from that. So now his World Series career ERA in 9 starts is 5.63. Which isn't great, but now he can. It's like you look at Kershaw, and people will say he's a bad World Series pitcher. He's got 3 or 4 games in the World Series. He's been really good.
Yeah, there's no denying that. And I asked you about if you thought Verlander would start, you would start Kershaw too. I mean, his dominant stuff, and I don't necessarily think he was too worried about it. I think it was neat to see him and Dusty embrace. I'd like to have heard what they were saying to each other when he pulled them in the 5th inning. Yeah, they definitely were happy with each other. That's for sure.
Pilot Mike reminding us that Ryan Stanek has looked great, and what a season it has been for Ryan Stanek, and could end up with a world championship. Has he pitched in more than a game in this World Series?
I don't remember but one, but I haven't watched every inning, and sometimes that's all he gets is an inning.
Well, that's all he gets is an inning. He's been a 1-inning guy, and I don't think he's had any games this year that he's pitched more than an inning. And that's been the way that managers have used relief pitchers in the postseason too. It's 1 inning at a time. I mean, Presley will have a chance for a 4 or 5 inning, 5-out save, but when 6th, 7th inning, these guys are out there for 1 inning each, and that is it. So, I mean, the Astros have the momentum now, and now they got the ballpark, they got the home ballpark and everything, and that place is going to be rocking. I feel like Philadelphia had their chance, up 2-1 at home, and a chance to finish out the series on at home. But you end up getting no hit.
Their bats went cold the last 2 days. Yeah,
the bats went cold, and then yesterday it was they hit the ball hard in a couple of instances in the right moment. It's just the Astros had guys with gloves that were in the way. 877-377-6963. Here's somebody that can talk a lot of soccer with you, Matt. He mentions the Reds have a few Brazilians, Allison, Fabinho, Bobby. He hopes they can keep Sala and Nunez long-term, and I have no clue who any of these people are.
Felipe Coutinho, he was one of my favorite. Coutinho, he went there and then went to Barca and didn't get to play much, and now he was at Aston Villa, I believe, where Steven Gerrard, old Red, was. Then they just fired him at coaching carousel. Yeah, that Premier League is some fun, man. The good thing about the Premier League is it's at 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11. And then I get to watch my college football. So I get to watch my soccer first, and you go right into it. But Liverpool's run the last 5 years, get out of here, man. They've had their midfield, I mean, they got to move on from Jordan Henderson a little bit. Thiago's still one of the best midfielders in the world, and he was hurt a little bit. But, yeah, Allison, goalkeeper, speaking of Brazilians, stud. I mean, top 5 goalkeeper.
Did Liverpool just lose a home game? Didn't that just happen?
They beat Man City and lost to Nottingham Forest. They've been doing good in the Champions League. They're tired. You got to think they're tired, man. The run they've went on, Champions League's finals, getting the most points and got second to Man City, that Pep Guardiola team. They're just a machine. They're like the Mighty Ducks, the German, the all-black team that comes up, or whatever, the varsity team. It's like they just keep coming at you, and they got Edwin Haaland. This dude that's from Norway, he's the next, he's like Terrell Owens out there, dude. He is unreal.
I'm just in awe that you know all of this, because as I understand, if you have trouble sleeping and you need something to watch at night,
Turn it on.
Turn it on
don't
your
go
EPL
there.
because at 2
Don't go
in the morning,
there.
At 2 in the morning, there it is for you. And apparently Matt Jones is somebody who has trouble sleeping. Either that or he just sets his alarm so he can wake up and watch it anyway. All right, we're going to step aside for a break and back with more halftime. Stay with us.
Aboard the Must Bus.
We've got to continue to get better every day and have a level head.
Steps back, 3 over. Kessler's good.
Everybody wants to compete. Everybody wants to play.
This is going to be a learning experience for a lot of our guys.
They are rushing the court at Bud Walton Arena.
We have a lot of talented players, so we know there's going to be a lot of people trying to prove that they're better than us individually and as a team.
You're not going to keep them off the floor tonight.
Follow the Hogs on the hardwood all season long.
Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Nobody's got a bigger selection of 22 Fords than Harry Robinson's Sallisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Sallisaw. Brother, you got a bunch of them, and you got a bunch more on the way.
Yes, it's exciting. You know, we're starting to see some new inventory. And, hey, remember us, the dealer that never charged over MSRP and still to this day does not charge over MSRP. You get your rebates, you get your discounts, you get everything that you qualify for and more. You still get your special APR financing. They've got 90 days until your first payment. And, hey, here's where you want to buy your new vehicle because we have the inventory and we still have a lot more on the way.
Tell me more about this financing from Ford because they're well below the market rates.
Yes. I mean, you know, you're seeing standard rates right now with people with good credit getting 6, 7, 8, 9% interest, and Ford is offering as low as 1.9% financing right now.
You won't find a bigger or better selection of brand new Fords than Harry Robinson's Sallisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Sallisaw.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
When I'm governor, we will educate kids, not indoctrinate them with the left's agenda. We will empower parents, not bureaucrats. And we will prepare students for the workforce, not government dependency. I believe every kid growing up in this state should have access to a quality education, a good job, and a better life right here in Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders will fight back against Biden and the radical left's agenda.
Inflation is a pay cut for every Arkansan, and Biden's policies are only making it worse. As governor, I'll begin phasing out the state income tax to give you a pay raise and unleash bold reforms to make Arkansas one of the best places to start and grow a business, creating thousands of new, high-paying jobs.
Fighting back against the radical left, empowering Arkansans. Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor. Paid for by Sarah for governor.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Why do people do business with First Western? Because First Western builds relationships with all of their customers. They partner for the long haul to help you with your financial goals over all seasons of life. First Western is prompt, responsive, and they deliver with quick answers and on-time loan closings. When is the last time your banker called you? If you are looking for a high level of service and a financial partner who will listen and respond, try First Western. For more information, visit them online at firstwestern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
As a sports fan, you know the game, but do you know what to get the woman in your life? Do you know what Judy Blues are? Or what about a tunic or buffalo plaid? Well, don't let that stress you out like a fourth quarter turnover. Go to Firefly Boutique and Gifts. That's Firefly, light up the night. Firefly Boutique and Gifts in downtown historic Van Buren. They have all the things for the women in your life. And to make it quick and easy, pick up a gift card and get back in the game. Firefly Boutique and Gifts, 613 Main Street in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
As I walk through the valley where I harvest my grain, I take a look at my wife and realize she's very plain, but that's just perfect for for an Amish like me. You know I shun fancy things like electricity. At 4:30 in the morning I'm milking cows. Jebediah feeds the chickens and Jacob plows. Fool, and I've been milking and plowing so long that even Ezekiel thinks that my mind is gone. I'm a man of the land, I'm into discipline. Got a Bible in my hand and a beard on my chin. But if I finish all of my chores and you finish thine, then tonight we're gonna party like it's 1699. We've been spending most our lives living in an Amish paradise.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
A local boy kicked me in the butt last week.
This one makes me feel bittersweet, Matty, because you got to pour one out for Coolio at the same time. You're like, yeah, that's one of my favorites. Oh, the Weird Al Yankovic biopic movie is out on the Roku channel. I have not watched it yet. Clay, you've probably heard it a little bit. Matt, I know you have. Did you know I know all the lyrics to all these songs that Matty has been playing? I don't think he's been
impressed.
I don't think he has put it over the air, but it is no doubt. I know all the lyrics. So does Matty. Official Weird Al geeks, but we've been out there about this for a long, long time. We're proud of it.
It's not the same as me singing George Strait, is it?
No, because George Strait's not funny.
Now, did you
or
guys,
maybe he is, and I just don't know it.
Did you guys see that there's so now we've got this Weird Al biopic, and this is well, you can just put it out there. It's a parody of music biopics and overly exaggerated.
Like Never Stop Stopping.
Well, they
like, Andy Samberg. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Or what was the Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story?
Yeah.
Okay. So I did see a trailer this morning for a new George Jones and Tammy Wynette movie, and it was Michael Shannon playing George Jones. And I forget who the actress was that's playing. Somebody can send that in, but it looks pretty darn good.
What have been all the other music biopics? Because this is what he's doing. I mean, Weird Al for decades now has been spoofing hits from other stars. Now he's spoofing the rock and roll biopic movie.
Elton John, Queen, they all just came out, right? You had Elvis, like all three of those came out.
When I was a kid, though, there was a Jerry Lee Lewis movie, Great Balls of Fire, with what was it?
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. I almost said Randy Quaid, right. But and then there was I guess it was more of a tragedy though. The La Bamba, the Buddy Holly story,
starring
the Buddy Holly story.
Diamond Phillips.
That was La Bamba
Phillips as Richie Valens.
Yes.
There was a Sid Vicious, Gary Oldman played. I saw part of it, like a young Gary Oldman. Young Gary Oldman played Sid Vicious, where he's like. We won't go into that scene because we can only say. But yeah, crazy.
Here's a couple of stars that I saw playing a single show together. They haven't had biopics made about them, but my sister was reading Stevie Nicks' autobiography recently. Stevie Nicks has lived a very interesting life. But did you see Stevie Nicks and Billy Joel are getting together for a concert? I think it's at the Cowboy Stadium. That'd be one I'd like to see, and I'm
a Billy Joel fan. Yeah,
biopic of Stevie Nicks' life.
Cool.
Just the Fleetwood Mac years alone from the '70s would be enough for like 3 or 4 movies.
I'd be into it.
Jeremiah in Cedarville reminds us The Doors with Val Kilmer.
Oh yeah, The Doors. Everybody grows up; they think Val Kilmer was Jim Morrison. When I talk to anybody younger than 20.
So Maddie and I are both 30. Fans of the Cleverleys.
Yes.
And to hear the Cleverleys do "Baby" by Justin Bieber is pretty cruel.
Oh, Clay, I didn't tell you when I went and saw the Cleverleys a few weeks ago. They they're working on a new album, and they did a new cover, and it was the Radiohead song "Creep" that they did a bluegrass cover of.
Yeah,
it was great.
Oh yeah, they do some Beyonce, to bluegrass, some Justin Bieber, and I can't even think of all of them.
The Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, but it's and of course they're really good. I mean, they're all they're a top Branson act for a reason.
Well, that's the way Weird Al is. His band's legit. I mean, they're all good. They sound just like the real songs.
Well, it's been the same group. It's been the same group for years. He's never had different musicians. It's one thing that we know about him for certain. It's a great musician. 877-377-6963 to get with us. I heard KJ Jefferson on the Coach's radio show on Wednesday, and you don't see what happens during the commercial breaks. but he got absolutely mobbed during the commercial breaks. And apparently
like for autographs.
It was to touch him. I remember mobbing Weird Al once because he was singing in the studio, or singing in the pit where I was standing, and we mobbed him because we wanted to touch his hair. It's got to be such an interesting thing, Matt, to be the Razorback quarterback, and just anywhere you go, you've got people that want to come up and get an autograph or just talk to you about the team or something.
It's hard sometimes. I mean, I never had anything like KJ Jefferson, but you feel like you can't ever go and do. I mean, everybody's always watching. It's whatever, there's always something. You don't ever feel like you get to be alone.
Got Cody who's giving us a call. Let's take the phone call. Cody, how's your Friday going? What's up?
Hey, man, I'm at the office just hanging out. I was listening to you guys, and yesterday I was up against it. Hope your guys' day is going well, first off. But, hey, were y'all saying that Auburn had shown interest in Sam Pittman for their head coaching job?
There wasn't anything I said.
We haven't heard that, no, or said it, yeah.
Okay, but Juracek just gave him an extension, correct?
No, we haven't heard any of that. There hadn't been any information about that out.
Oh, it was Juracek, yeah. I misunderstood that. I didn't hear the whole thing.
Auburn showed interest in Juracek for the AD job, and so they gave him a raise.
Well, good. He deserves it. It's been a while since we had a pretty good leader at AD. The other thing I wanted to talk to y'all about was, so this weekend, it's the first time in a while that it's going to be hard. It's going to be tempting. I heard what you were saying earlier, Phil, about not being able to watch like the Tennessee-Georgia game there and everything, and then you got Bama and LSU. Here's my question for you. So, I mean, I get you're grandfathered in and you've always been in the SEC. When was the last time Georgia and Bama played in a regular season football game? I mean, it's been a while, right? Like, so the scheduling, is there an obligation for, like, every SEC team to have to play one another within, like, a 5-year span or something? I mean, how do they judge?
It's every 6 years, under the current schedule, which isn't going to last for very much longer, because I think aren't we doing away with divisions and deciding whether or not you're going to add a 9th game to the league schedule? So this whole idea that you haven't played teams in 6 years, like Florida, that kind of thing, is going to go away. I'm looking back here. The last time Alabama and Georgia played a regular season game was the 2020 season. Before that, it was 2015. Before that, it was 2008. You got to tell you, whatever happened in the 2020 season, throw it away. That doesn't count because that was a different thing. That was a 10-game league schedule. So, I mean, they're on that every 6-year period, but they've played so often in the postseason, so they've got this legitimate, rivalry going. Wouldn't it be interesting? Ty and Chuck and Tommy brought this up earlier, and I guess I hadn't thought of this. You could legitimately see a scenario where Tennessee and Alabama play 3 times this year. Regular season, SEC championship game, and then the college football playoff. And maybe the championship game of that, depending on how it all the top 4 shakes out. Like, that's a legitimate thing. You could really see these two teams play each other 3 times this year. I know it's never happened in college football history.
Yeah.
What's that?
The next one has to be close for that to happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. So, and then I'm thinking about this Liberty game coming up. I heard Tommy's prediction. He was saying he thinks we win by 3 touchdowns. And I'm looking at their schedule right now. And they've got some games where it just kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit, like Southern Miss, decent program, They won 29-27 in 4 overtimes. Then you got UAB, and they win by a touchdown. Now, I'm kind of ignorant towards that division or that conference.
I mean, Cody, they'll all point to the fact that they came close to beating Wake Forest because they didn't convert the 2-point conversion at the end of the game. Just before beating BYU, they beat Gardner-Webb by 1 point. These are some dramatic swings in quality that you're talking about here.
Yeah,
beating an FCS opponent by 1 point.
They've had a lot of flux at quarterback, and that's the big thing about this game. You don't know, and Hugh Freeze may know who's going to play, but it isn't obvious to Arkansas. And there's 3 different guys that could be in the game. And it could be Charlie Brewer, who's got coming back from a broken hand, and he's the most experienced player in college football as far as the number of games he's played that are meaningful. He started 4 years at Baylor.
Clay, would you say that he's efficient throwing the football, though? That's our biggest problem,
Well, I wouldn't want to play him. I mean, you can say what you want as far as what can he do, but he's won games, and he would not be afraid of the atmosphere.
Right. Well, I appreciate y'all's time. Y'all have a good one, okay, guys?
Good to hear from you, Cody. Yeah, I mean, I think the situation that they've got at quarterback right now is kind of wild no matter what happens on Saturday, because, I mean, you're legitimately talking about a program that has had to start 3 quarterbacks. The guy that they really want to start has taken maybe 2 handfuls of meaningful snaps with this team this year, and they don't know whether or not his throwing hand is in proper shape to handle the ball. I mean, that's not even just a matter of throwing the ball. I mean, taking the snap properly with a hand that's swollen and handing off. And not fumbling it away. I mean, these are pretty important portions of being a quarterback, not just throwing it. That's why
they've got an opportunistic defense. They have a lot of sacks and a lot of interceptions.
Well, we've got a few more commercials that we've got to play here as we now are officially into the home stretch with 31 minutes left here on halftime. Not like we're counting down, because I got a movie to watch at some point tonight. 877-377-6963. More halftime after this.
On the block, where's a drink? Got to know. Tight jeans tattoo, cause I'm rock and roll. Half black, half white domino. Gaining money, open door. Yo, I'm running through these like Drano. Got that devilish flow, rock and roll. No halo, we party rock. Yeah, that's the crew that I'm repping. On the rock to the top, no Latin or Zeppelin. Party rock is in the house tonight. Everybody just have a good time, and we gon' make you lose your mind. Everybody just have a good time.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, and football is in the air, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Hell is a big enough problem on its own. Good Thing Dent Source, LLC is on the job, specializing in auto hail repair from personal vehicles to large fleet. Dent Source, LLC makes customers smile, one vehicle at a time. High insurance deductible? No problem. Dent Source, LLC will pay your deductible. Need a loaner vehicle during repair? No problem. Dent Source, LLC has free loaner vehicles. Stop by 2820 South Zero Street, across from Play It Again Sports, or call 479-337-4443. That's 479-337-4443. Dent Source LLC. No problem.
Do you have concerns about the integrity of your roof? Liberty Roofing in Fort Smith and the surrounding area is here and ready to serve you. Liberty Roofing is here for all your roofing needs. Quality roofing services, licensed, insured, and certified. Give Liberty Roofing a call at 650-6231 to get started for a free roof inspection and estimate. Call 650-6231. Liberty Roofing is here to tend to all your roofing needs. Let Liberty Roofing cover you. Check us out on Facebook.
When it comes to your vehicle dent repairs, you want a local professional that you can trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your place. Michael, his family, and team have been in the community for over 30 years and are the best in the business. When all the other pop-up hail damage places have packed up and left town, Littleton's is still here taking care of your vehicle every day. Stay local. Stay with the best. Stay with the name you know and trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. Highway 112 off I-540 in Pacoima. Pensacola.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Searching for a promising career change? Looking for an established company that pays competitively and values its team members? Then come be a part of the Beckert family. Beckert and Van Buren has immediate openings for production operators paying up to $29 an hour. Sundays are paid at time and a half, and night shift work has an added premium of $1 per hour. Applications are available 24/7 at Beckert, located off I-40 at Exit 3. Apply today.
The Arkansas Fraternal Order of Police stood tall and unified this week to urge voters to vote no on Issue 4. They're calling the campaign misleading to voters, and they warn of the harm it will bring to our children, along with even more unintended consequences we cannot afford. Stand with the police and vote against Marijuana Issue 4, paid for by the Family Council Action Committee.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
I finally made it through med school. Somehow I made it through. I'm just an intern, I still make a mistake or two. I was last in my class, barely passed at the institute. Now I'm trying to avoid, yeah, I'm trying to avoid a malpractice suit. Hey, like a surgeon, for the very first time.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I know Matty probably turned the mic up for that little part there.
I should have.
Yeah, you should have. Complications have set in. Don't know how long he'll last. Yeah. That's speaking the words instead of singing.
Yeah, it's like the Christopher Walken reading. What Weird Al songs did you perform live in your youth? I know there was 2 different ones, wasn't there? This was one of them, wasn't it?
2 different ones. Try like 4 or 5 of them. It was all lip syncing too. I did. I lost on Jeopardy. Eat It. Think I'm a Clone Now with my sister. There was.
I think I'm a clone.
Yeah,
that's a great.
Living with a hernia, like maybe 3 or 4 different times. 1 More Minute, maybe 3 or 4 different times, and that's just a short list.
The first time I realized how great Phil is at, like, even though I know most of these, it's like I still don't know every single lyric of every single song. But the way he just recites some of these, like that, like the monologue from "I Lost on Jeopardy."
Oh God! It's funny how these things stay with you.
Yeah.
I can't
how do you have
remember
any room in your brain left?
I can't remember something somebody told me yesterday, but yet I can recite an entire George Carlin routine from 1973, to the word, and exactly the way he said it.
The hippy dippy weatherman.
Al Sleet, the hippy dippy weatherman. Yeah.
Oh,
the weather
yeah.
today was dominated by a large Canadian low, which is not to be confused with a Mexican high. You want to try me with another one?
Dark for tonight.
That's right. Yeah, tonight's forecast, dark. Continued dark tonight, followed by widely scattered light in the morning, man. That's right. Yeah, now if you take a look at our national weather map, you'll see that we don't have one. Anyway, it's funny, the things that you memorize as a kid.
Important stuff.
That's why they told me that reading the baseball encyclopedia night after night after night wasn't going to help me later on in life. Well, guess what? It does. Maybe not everybody.
Dude, to get the Beckett monthly, and then you get your cards and go to school and have them in your Trapper Keeper
No,
and trade cards. I was all into it.
I wasn't
King
a card
Griffey
trader.
Jr.,
You bought the Beckett magazine. That's how much
dude,
of a
I would have
trader
my
you were?
mom take me to the memorabilia store and go there, and I had all the Tim Duncan rookie, Allen Iverson rookie, but I had a lot of baseball, and then the tornado that came through town kind of
really
years ago.
You had a natural disaster ruin your
think
card
about
collection.
Kobe Bryant rookie cards. All that was my time in training. Yeah, but King Griffey Jr., Bo Jackson, Kirk Gibson. That was the time for.
It's weird how that works out. So a natural disaster ruined your whole collection. The thing that usually ruins most people's collection of memorabilia is because their mom threw it away.
Right.
That's what happened to my father. Like, he grew up in the 50s. In the 50s. You can think, and he was a card collector. Think of the cards that he might have had access to or actually had. But he didn't take them away when he moved away, and Grandma Gloria dumped them.
That's what happens. It's the last move. They didn't.
Yeah.
They're not in the attic anymore.
Yeah.
And there are people that have gone back and found collections in attics because nobody emptied the attics. It's like go back to an old house. Hey, can I go up in your attic? Or you're kind of a sicko, and then come down with a baseball card collection because nobody had ever gone up there. That's pretty cool.
I went up into the attic of a house that my ex and I had purchased. Gosh, this would have been, 14 years ago. And it was the one thing that the sellers had left behind. And it was a trunk filled with Kiss memorabilia, the band Kiss. I mean, some vinyl albums and stuff like that, but Kiss figurines. They'd been opened, so they weren't worth anything. Otherwise, I'd have put them on eBay.
It's still cool stuff.
Sure. I wasn't necessarily into Kiss, but I could have scared the crap out of my kids with those things if I would have kept them.
Yep. So when you think about things that you do early in life that you don't think will be meaningful, two things that happened to me in the 8th grade and 9th grade. My mother made me take typing, which I just hated. I thought this is the most. Of course, I'm the only guy in there. It's everybody's training to be secretaries, right?
I believe it's called keyboarding now.
Because, yeah, it is, but it was typing then, and it was typewriters. But I can type 140 words a minute. I got good at it. The other thing is my dad made me take 2 semesters of Latin. And
it's a dead
language. That's really helpful.
But where it's really cool is that all the bugs that you talk about in fly fishing all have Latin names. So I can talk the Latin names of the bugs. Never thought that would come into play, right?
I didn't realize that the two things that the Latin language are still good for are Catholic Mass and fly fishing.
Fly
These
fishing,
two things that
absolutely.
I did not tie together under the same banner.
They haven't even done that in Catholic Mass for 50 years.
Well, it shows how much I know.
So I don't think, unless you just want to know the the roots of words.
Well,
yeah, so the day that you're not on the show, Phil, I'll conjugate in Latin. How's that?
Oh, that sounds like 3 hours of radio
Matt
there.
Matt will know exactly what I'm talking about, I'm sure.
Oh, get a load at this message from Robin Waldron. He had 14 Jordan rookie cards burned in a house fire when he was a kid.
No.
Oh, man.
I never had a Jordan rookie. I had an 85-86 Jordan card. So about 2 years, I think, into the league, 2 or 3, but that was the best. The Jordan, but yeah, Larry Johnson was a big one back, Grandmama back then, and
I had some. I've never been a big memorabilia collector. I have some baseball cards. I got some bats and stuff like that. But it's all been just from teams that I've worked for. Just things for me to remember. Not that, oh my gosh, this guy signed it and it's worth this kind of money.
Like you got a Weird Al poster when you met him and he signed it.
Right? Yeah, I'm not putting that for sale. It's going up on the wall and then it's going to go into my casket with me whenever I die, along with a number of other things. But I had some stuff, some pretty cool stuff, like a memory. These are the kind of memories I like to keep. I was lucky enough to meet Buck O'Neill, the legendary Negro leaguer that was eventually a baseball manager and scout and was at the forefront of people realizing that the Negro leagues probably needed to be treated as a major league and get some of these guys into the Hall of Fame, of which Buck finally now has been voted into the Hall of Fame, but it's years after his death. I drove him from an event that a team I worked for in Stockton, California had to the airport in Sacramento. That's a 35-minute drive with a guy that had played with Satchel Paige and had stories about personal stories about Satchel Paige. So my memory of him was I asked him if I could record the drive on a tape recorder back when we had these things called cassette tapes. And he said he was cool with it. And we just sat in the car and talked while we drove. And he told these incredible stories that I put in a box in the garage and then moved to Arkansas years later. So this might have happened in like 2005 or 2006. There were some really bad storms that came through Little Rock, and I lived in Little Rock then. And the next morning, there was some real terrible straight-line wind that I guess affected the tree, this pecan tree in the backyard, and the tree literally went roots up overnight and crushed the garage, and it was pouring rain for the next 15 hours. And my Buck O'Neil tape was ruined by that. So that was one of the sadder moments I've ever had.
And Jerry, he had coffee and cars going around. You could have had it going on then. Yeah, taping, driving around and letting people talk. That's pretty – I bet that was a fun conversation.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
and he was just you ever met like one of those people that it's like there's an aura around them that you can feel the moment you see him. And then when that person starts talking to you, you're like, I feel special
like
right
Christmas
now.
Christmas morning.
Yeah, that's what I felt like around Buck O'Neil for 35 minutes, and I'll never forget it. But I wish that darn pecan tree, which was over a century old, wouldn't have gone roots up for many reasons. And it's not because I like pecans. Anyway, I think we all have stories about how some of our favorite things have been destroyed. But this is supposed to be a fun hour. We're not looking for the sad stories.
So you don't want to hear about when I got my brand new Super Nintendo as a child. I took my Atari 2600 in about 100 games and just threw them right in the garbage can. Because I was like, screw this. Who needs this old technology?
I'm moving on. Yeah, the past is the past. Yeah.
Now that would have been worth some money all those years later.
I wish I could go back in time and smack the hell out of myself.
Wow. Oh, man. All right, we want your favorite tragic stories of things that you lost and you'll never get back again. We're joking. We just want to have some fun things to talk about. Jeez, why don't you go kick my cat while you're at it, right? All right, we're going to wrap things up after the break, which means we'll have our final thoughts on Arkansas and Liberty. And maybe we'll figure out whether or not Matthew McConaughey can play Matt Jones and why people think Joe Rogan would play me. Joe Rogan's not an actor, for crying out loud. 877-377-6963 to get with us in the final segment. We'll come back and wrap things up next.
Deer hunters, rifle season is almost here, and Jelco Outdoors is ready to help you get ready with hunting clothing, tree stands, hunting boots, orange safety vest, sit cover, ladder stands, box blinds, feeders, rifles, ammo, and everything else to make your hunt one to remember. This season, shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Jelco Outdoors, where a great hunt begins.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. Ad paid for by Christina Katsavis campaign.
Who's hungry, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. And this month, I'm serving up heaping helpings of deals on Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So right now, you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car, based on the price of the car you choose. It's our feast of savings, and these deals are all gravy, so if you're sick of your old ride, toss it like yesterday's leftovers. Come in today, and you can save up to $4,500. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. So pull up a chair at my Feast of Savings, and you can save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car. But hurry, a deal this hot will cool down fast. Only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Herod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Think it's tough to hire a lawyer? Try being married to one. I'm Matt Mock, sports marketing consultant and husband at Mock Legal Solutions. When my wife came to me about opening her own firm right here in our hometown, we decided on 4 core values that as a client we both wanted in our lawyers: affordability, accessibility, convenience, and results. At Mock Legal Solutions, we pride ourselves on customer service, and we are grateful for all of our past, current, and future clients. Happy Thanksgiving from our family to yours. Call today for a free consultation, 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Let's talk guns at the Tackle Box. Ruger new model Black Hawk 41 Magnum 6.5-inch barrel with a box of shells, $7.99. Benelli M2 20-gauge black synthetic, $11.99. Browning Sweet 16 round knob, Belgium-made improved cylinder, plain barreled 1951 model, $13.99. And remember, the Tackle Box buys and trades guns, and the customer wins. Tackle Box is also back into fly fishing. Come check it out.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
It's a big job just getting by with 9 kids and a wife. But I've been working, man, dang near all my life, and I'll keep on working. Long as my 2 hands are fit to use. I'll drink my beer in a tavern, sing a little bit of these working man blues.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Wasn't true.
It is wrap-up time here on halftime as we in our final 5 minutes. We could get our last thoughts on Arkansas and Liberty here. It's interesting. You look at the Bet Saracen app, and you got multiple things you can put money on all at the same time. You got first half money line, Arkansas minus 500, Liberty plus 300. First half spread is Arkansas minus 11.5. I'd take that one, honestly. I think that's a pretty good bet to take if you want to look at that. It's on the Bet Saracen app along with every other college football game.
What's the over? I like the over. I think both these teams can score. I think both these teams probably the defensive. I mean, we know what Arkansas's defense is. It's going to bend, don't break, but they're going to give up some yards and points. Is the over 60?
61.5.
I'm taking the over all day. I think the Hogs could score 50 on them. You know, like
I was going to ask, like, how much is Liberty scoring of that 62?
Liberty, I got Liberty scoring at least 3 touchdowns. I think they're going to put up 20 points. I think we still have to score 30 to win. I mean, Hugh Freeze is going to put up some points. It's just if we really are that dominant, like it's because I haven't seen us be that dominant, but they're a lower team. So if we can be more physical and like destroy them up front, yes. But I just don't think we're that. That's not our style.
Clay, what do you think about this over-under, 61.5?
I'm horrible on over-unders because I have this fear of, like defensive touchdowns and special teams points, and it just destroys over and unders, and you just never know what's going to happen in that regard. I do think Liberty's strength is their defense. They can score on defense. The matchup to watch, and I've seen keys to the games by several people, and they don't look at games the way I do. And the key matchup is Arkansas's interior of their offensive line against their nose tackle and their middle linebacker. That's their playmakers. Their nose tackle has 6 sacks. I can't remember a nose tackle having 6 sacks in half of a season. That's a lot, isn't it, Matt?
Well, you'd have had Ndamukong Suh. That'd have been a while ago, huh? For something like that. Yeah.
That's
a crazy number.
Yeah, Limmer, Stromberg, and Latham, and their Mike linebackers, their leading tackler. Those guys are both really good players. They've got to neutralize those two guys. And, I tend to watch games a little different than people, but I think that's where it's going to happen for Arkansas. And it's a good matchup. Arkansas has good players, and then that's their 3 best offensive linemen, in my opinion.
I'm looking at like a 45-20 game, something like that, I think. So in that case, if you're parlaying on Betsaras and take the Hogs and then go with the over.
Take the first half Hogs and then take the I like that. I'd only do one. I'd take the over. That's for sure.
Well, good. So we've come to an agreement. We've come to an agreement on that one.
I do like that Arkansas kind of figured out their third quarter blues last week.
There was one other game that they played well in the third. I know. Coach
BYU,
Pittman,
really the last 2 games they've done that.
Remember the third quarter against Alabama was where they nearly came all the way back.
Yep.
So I'm more interested in seeing in actually like the first 2 drives. I don't think they've scored on either of the first 2 drives since the A&M game. And I'd like to see a touchdown on the opening drive, whether they take the ball first or defer. Like no 3 and out, no sack on the first play from scrimmage. Like get down that field. And it's not a matter of just playing with the lead. When you see what's ahead, LSU, Ole Miss, 2 offenses that can really get going, it's going to be a matter of keeping up or staying ahead of them because they're going to score against Arkansas. And you can't waste
those games might
drives.
Be 50-40. Yeah, no question.
We're going to have to play what Liberty's going to have to do to Arkansas. If Liberty wants to beat Arkansas, they're going to have to play a perfect game and get lucky. When we play LSU, we can't make mistakes. We're going to have to start fast and keep it going because LSU is going to score 40 on us. I mean, no question about it.
And they have not been against Auburn, against BYU, 2 wins, well-played games for the most part. They have not been a fast-starting offense at all. Look, I don't think they need it in order to beat Liberty, but I'll tell you, I think they probably do to beat LSU and to beat Ole Miss. So
what would we be talking about? Larry the bowling ball after this game?
Larry.
Yeah, I do think
Larry's going to make
an appearance. Yeah. I don't know if
I might interview him. I think I may interview Larry.
Maybe they bring the shoes out this time, and spray some stuff in the shoes instead of the bowling. I mean, we can go bowling. I don't know.
Sam Pittman better not be renting shoes at the bowling alley.
Dude, so speaking of hobbies, talking about watching soccer, there were players would have their bowling ball, and they'd be like, hey, let's go. And so, you're competitors in everything you do, but there you go.
Hey, Maddie, enjoy the movie. Enjoy Weird. I know I will. Clay, Matt, you guys have a great weekend and looking forward to getting with you guys Monday next week. So for all the guys, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, get better.
Hanging out with my buddy Andrew Brown at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. We've talked a little bit about the GT 350 and the other